Hello, everyone. Welcome to Palm Springs Stadium. Into the Agua Caliente Casinos booth. I'm Charlie Gonzalez here with Justin Lee. We have a great matchup awaiting us in beginning in just a few moments. It's the Palm Springs Power hosting the Colton Nighthawks in the third game of the season. Palm Springs Power sitting at 15-5 overall, and the Colton Nighthawks sitting at 10-13. Now, one thing to keep note about this game is the starting pitcher, Jaden McNeely. He has faced the Nighthawks both times this season, and it hasn't gone well for Colton. And so he's going to look to make it a clean sweep. The starting lineup for the visiting Colton Nighthawks. Batting first, the center fielder, Caden Carrion. Batting second, the left fielder, Robert DeLatorre. Batting third, the first baseman, Sean Green. Batting fourth, the catcher, Ian Newen. Batting fifth, the third baseman, John Petrie. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, Seth Correa. Batting seventh, the second baseman, Keonoa Luna. Batting eighth, the right fielder, Damian Casas. And batting ninth, the shortstop, River Martinez. Starting on the mound, number 12, Cody Smith. Now for the Palm Springs Power, number 39, Jaden McNeely starting on the mound, as I mentioned. The leadoff man, third baseman, Austin Haller. In left field, batting second, Cato Kleinman. Batting third, Miles Walton in right field. Batting fourth, first baseman, Mark Kirkland. Batting fifth, the shortstop, Casey Kleinman. Batting sixth, the center fielder, Jamal Ritter. Batting seventh, the catcher, Blake Conrad. Batting eighth, the designated hitter, Grayson Gegg. And batting ninth, the second baseman, Dalton Thomas. Now, Justin, the Power are on a two-game losing streak. They got swept at home by the Inland Valley Pirates. How do you think they're going to get back in the rhythm today?
Well, today it's just going to be about really getting those hits early. They just weren't able to get as many hits as they wanted to against the Inland Valley Pirates. You look at the way that they were able to hit in the first game against the Pirates. Only one hit within the first 6 innings of the game. Nothing more after them until the 7th and the 8th inning. And then the second game, they managed to get some more hits, but after that they were quiet through most of the game, and they just weren't able to capitalize on certain situations.
This first pitch is hit into left field, and getting underneath it and making the catch is Cato Kleinman for out number 1. It's one pitch, one out.
Cato Kleinman playing out in left field for the second time this season, playing a very different position than what he did last weekend. He was at third base this previous weekend. He's been playing around different spots, second base, shortstop. He can do it all.
Casey Dill wants to move him around, and he'll answer the call. And there's ball one to Robert DeLatorre.
And like the big thing tonight is just the bats need to be there here for the Power. And a great thing is that you get Mark Kirkland back, who was present none of the games against the Inland Valley Pirates. I thought he was there for that second game or whatnot, but he wasn't present there. So you get a big bat back in the lineup here for the Power, where you really need to get those runs in. He's been such a big run supporter throughout the season this year.
And there's 3 consecutive balls thrown to Robert DeLatorre, 3-0 count. And yeah, Mark Kirkland, in his absence, Austin Haller played first, so he's been around the entire infield. The only infield position he hasn't played is shortstop. And so he's it's now back at his usual third base position. It's a 3-1 count now to Robert DeLatorre. Strike 2, and it's a full count.
A couple of very good pitches from Jaden McNeely. Every single game that he started against the Colton Nighthawks, he's gone through 4 innings, been able to hold the Colton Nighthawks to just less than 2 runs.
Well, that was almost a comebacker. He stuck his glove out, and it was just out of his reach, and diving for it at short, but not being able to scoop it up was Casey Kleinman, so it's a 1-out single for Robert DeLatorre.
Tough play there for Kleinman to really try to get that. At least he stopped it within the infield, which was big right there. And you saw Jaden McNeely, he almost had a chance on that, but just didn't have the reach for it. He missed it by about 2 inches.
That would have been a really smooth catch, though, because he didn't have to move a whole lot, and he just maybe another half a foot. This is hit, and it's going to get past Dalton Thomas into right field, so a base hit on the first pitch. And it's going to get past Miles Walton in right field, so a fielding error will result in 1 run coming home, and Sean Green advancing to third. So it's early 1-0 lead for the Colton Nighthawks.
Yeah, it should have just been a single right there, as Sean Green gets a good hit right there and a piece to right field, right between the infield. And for whatever reason, Miles Walton, who usually plays left field, is playing in right field today. So a little bit of a different position. He has to fight with that sun in his direction. Maybe he just lost it looking through the sun right there. And what should have been a single and not a run score turned into a 1-0 ball game.
So here's Ian Newen, the catcher. Swings at the first pitch. So the bat went below the ball. Strike one.
So not exactly the ideal situation you want from your outfield support, but another weird, wacky play right there, honestly.
Ball one. Yeah, and the changes that are made, you know, Grayson Gegg, the designated hitter, instead of it usually being Brian O'Neill or KJ Moon, the latter of which is not in the lineup tonight. He's usually been their ace out in right field. And yeah, Miles Walton made the mistake there to put him in a hole early. 1-1 count. There's strike two. McNeely taking a deep breath. Delivers ball two. Now Jay McNeely, left-handed pitcher, he has his back to the runner at third. And so he's going to have to turn around and keep an eye on him. Probably, we saw Jamal Ritter steal home last week. And that was the first one like that of the season. And that's one of the hardest things to do in baseball, as it's now a 3-2 count for Newen.
Yeah, when you have a speedy guy like Jamal Ritter, and what we've seen throughout the season, the leader in stolen bases on the team, he knew the situation, 1 out in that inning, and he literally just took the bag when the pitcher was caught sleeping. So
now there's a 1-out walk. Ian Newen takes the first. Runners on in the corners. Green at third, Newen at first, and here's John Petrie in the middle of the order. You okay there, buddy?
I think so.
Okay.
Something went down the wrong pipe.
McNeely delivers the first pitch, and that goes foul by the Nighthawks dugout. 1 strike.
Yeah, McNeely the last time out against the Nighthawks, which was actually game number 1. He did give up 6 runs, 5 of those earned with 4 strikeouts. So he had his issues against the Colton Nighthawks, but it was not because, you know, the Power didn't lose that game, obviously, but it was because they had good run support towards the very end of the game. So the big thing here is really to kind of figure out your picks, take the batters that you can get, and be able to kind of get out of these situations. I think that's why manager Casey Dill has put Jaden McNeely in these situations, because he knows it challenges him here on the mound.
There's strike two. Looking, Petria almost went around, and Jaden McNeely is a D1 player. Obviously, played at St. Mary's with teammate and catcher Blake Conrad. And one thing to note is he's trying to find right now a ball that's most likely going to be hit right up the middle that can be a force out. Ooh, ball two, missing the zone.
Yeah, he barely missed it. Just about a ball's length off the bottom right corner of the strike zone right there, 75 miles per hour. So you can tell that he's trying to figure this out with his teammate Blake Conrad there. It does help give him an element to work with, because he has familiarity with Blake Conrad behind the plate there.
The 2-2 pitch, that's grounded over to third. Haller throws to second, and then Damas tags out John Petrie at first for a 5-4-3 double play. And Mark Kirkland was ready even before the ball got to Thomas, the 5-4-3. So after half an inning, Nighthawks lead 1-0. We'll be back right after this.
Like a family setting, you know, we come and we get into conversation, and it's comfortable here is what I guess I'll say. It's comfortable.
The hot cocoa has whipped cream and sprinkles in the whipped cream in the hot cocoa.
Very family oriented. You know, they cater to the kids. They got the coloring books and crayons, and they have kid-sized stuff about almost for everything that you would want. So young and old, everybody can enjoy it.
It's the best.
Made from scratch memories. Elmer's.
Welcome back. It's the bottom of the first. Palm Springs Power trailing the Colton Nighthawks 1-0. Austin Hauer in the leadoff spot for the Power. That rhymed. Cato Kleinman and Miles Walton due up after him. And Cody Smith, this is now the second time facing the Power this season.
You always know how to spice it up, don't you, Charlie?
A little bit. Just wait for the good stuff. We're just getting started.
Oh boy.
Here's the first pitch. Below the zone, ball 1.
I have my seat buckled for this one, folks. If you've been listening to the PSEL lately with Charlie and Steven Buxton on the call, and then you know exactly what I'm talking about.
See, now you're laughing like I do.
No, don't put that on me. That you have a joker's laugh. That is 100% true. I think I don't know what kind of laugh I have. It's pretty obnoxious, I think.
1-1 strike for Haller. Smith delivers. Ball 2.
Yeah, Cody Smith actually, because we were talking about it right before during the break, is this guy pitched the first game here against the Power when these two teams met up back in the 18th of June. This guy's a 6'7", 190-pound dude on the mound.
There's ball 3, and one of that comes with some advantages and disadvantages. One, with a longer arm, it can be easier to tear a muscle, but 2, he can kind of get his hand a little bit closer to the plate upon release and therefore have less chance of missing the zone. So he's been able to deal with his strengths and weaknesses at that height. And there's a leadoff walk for Austin Haller. The tying run is aboard.
Yeah, and that's a big thing biomechanically wise, right? You think about the way that you use that height, right? You use that long stride of yours to push forward towards the plate, and that release point is a lot closer to the plate than a lot of people think. So it might be more devious, especially if you have a lot of good break on those pitches.
Oh, shows a bunt, and Cato Kleinman taking off for first. He's not going to get there in time. It'll be a 5-3 sacrifice bunt to move Austin Haller to second. 1 out in the bottom first.
Okay, so this is a little different right now. We did see Cato Kleinman do that a couple times. He did that at least once this previous weekend, where they really needed him to put a bunt down to try to get into the game, where they needed to put some runs on the board. And Casey Dill electing to go a little bit early this time in this situation.
Here's Miles Walton, the right fielder. Oh, first pitch curves at the last second. That curveball could have hit him. Ball 1.
And when we talk about the stride, it means being able to bring down those knees and push forward towards that plate, right? You see how the way that he comes down like that.
Oh, that hit into left field. It's a line drive getting just over the head of John Petrie at third, and it's going all the way into the corner at the 350 feet sign. So an RBI double ties the game at 1 apiece in the bottom first, and the leading run for the Power in scoring position.
Yeah, and how about that? 96 miles per hour, brought in the hands on an inside pitch right there, breaking downwards on that sinker, able to get a very good piece on this. And we talked about this. If with the Power are gonna start winning these games, they're gonna have to start hitting early, and they're gonna have to start attacking these teams early instead of getting behind.
There's strike 1 to Mark Kirkland.
What a nice thing to have Mark Kirkland coming back, and also congratulations. He just had a baby shower he came back from. He's gonna have a new kid. He just recently married.
Hit into left field, now it'll drift foul. Looked like it was going to go fair for a moment, but there is a wind factor here tonight, and I think that may have played a little bit of a role.
I think it's blowing from left to right field right now. I'm just trying to, you can see the American flag in the outfield. If you can see it on your screen, I guess you have good eyes, but it's blowing from our left to right here.
It could be, yeah, and I see mist blowing in a couple different directions. And there's a stolen base for Miles Walton, and that's ball 1 to Mark Kirkland. So now the leading run 90 feet away.
And Miles Walton also speedy, second on the team in stolen bases this year. He just added number 16 to the sheet right there.
Yeah, him and Jamal Ritter are in a race. Ritter, the only one ahead of him in statistical category, and there's ball 2.
Yeah, Mark Kirkland brings a big element that they needed back at that cleanup spot. He's hitting .431 this year, 25 hits, 6 doubles, and 15 RBIs.
The 2-2. Bouncer right up the middle. It's going to the shortstop. Scoops it up. as it was about to take a bad hop and throws it over to first to retire Kirkland, but the sacrifice ground out brings home the leading run. It's now 2-1 Power in the bottom first.
We like those kinds of hits. And again, Mark Kirkland adding another RBI to his stat sheet right there. That's number 16 on the year. He's third place now on the team, right behind Miles Walton and Brian O'Neill. And again, you just needed to put the ball in play there with one out, sacrifice yourself to score another run and take the lead.
Casey Kleiman fouls off the first pitch, took a bad hop right by his foot and went to the backstop.
And it all started with that sacrifice bunt after the walk by Haller there to lead off this inning.
Smith delivers the 0-1 pitch. Way outside in the opposite batter's box. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1 pitch. There's ball 2. The 2-1. That's grounded just at the third baseman, Petrie, throwing it over to Green, and it's a little high, and he reaches out his glove, and on the baseline, he can't quite tag Casey Kleiman, so the bad throw from John Petrie third forces Sean Green off the bag, and there's an error by the Colton Nighthawks infielders, and this inning is going to continue.
Yeah, Petrie had enough time to make a play right there at third base. He picks it up, throws it to first base, and it's very high above his first baseman, Green. Had to come off the bag, try to tag Casey as he went across the bag at first base. Didn't get him in time before he put his foot down.
And there's ball 1 to the center fielder, Jamal Ritter, and besides Mark Kirkland at first, he's probably been the player who's started in one position the second most times. There's strike 1.
Yeah, he's been center field this entire season, serving in at that position. And he's been very key with that speed and being able to cover the field out in center field for this team.
Swing and a miss, and Casey Kleiman taking off for second a little bit. He stuttered a little bit halfway there, but the throw was way beyond second, so he slides in with a stolen base. It's a 2-1 count to Jamal Ritter.
And you can see the advantage there of, having a pitcher who's 6'7", because you work with the disadvantage of really bringing those knees down to the ground. You're a lot slower in your come up and your wind up. So you see Casey is able to take advantage of that, understand the timing of that, and then get to second with a stolen base.
And yeah, it's 2-2. Apologies. I was right the first time before I corrected myself.
I'll back you up there too.
Yeah. That's popped back, and now it's a full count.
Still waiting for the first souvenir up here in the press box.
Yeah, I'm still hiding behind you. I promise you that. If something comes my way, I'm hiding.
I'm the smallest object in the room. I don't think you want to hide behind me.
You don't know me very well.
You're going to get very tiny behind my back?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just going to crouch like a hobbit.
Got it. I'll help you out there. Oh, wait, Charlie, get down.
So it's a payoff pitch incoming to Jamal Ritter, and he fouls that off, and that bat will continue.
Jamal Ritter had a pretty good game against the Inland Valley Pirates. It just wasn't enough to really help his team out. Walk, 2 for 4, 2 singles, and then obviously we talked about that stolen base to home plate.
And it was a gutsy move. That was on Saturday against the Inland Valley Pirates. And Cody Smith stepping off the mound for a second because Casey Kleiman was at second. Just wanted to give him a little bit of a warning.
Yeah,
No balk. Another payoff pitch, and there's ball 4 and a 2-out walk. We have 2 runners on now.
And you see what the little things do. The sack bunt, what that did to, Cody Smith's concentration here, the error, because the inning could have ended on that play too, right? But now you have man at first and second, and now you start to get through the lineup. The deeper you get here, the more tired you start to become as a starting pitcher, and if you can get him to tire out, then you can start to play. And the way that the Power have been playing against the Colton Nighthawks throughout the last 2 matches that they've had, they've been able to just blow it open very, very midway through the game. But they're doing it the opposite way here and starting out fast and strong.
Yeah, and this is an opportunity, though, for the Nighthawks to respond. There's strike 1 to Blake Conrad. And the sun has set behind Mount San Jacinto, so it's the field completely engulfed in shade. So there will be no more staring into the sunset for those outfielders and second base and first baseman. The 0-1 pitch. Curveball high, 1-1.
Yeah, and Blake Conrad actually had a really good game against the Pirates, too. He drew 2 walks, scored on an error, and then also scored with a walk there before he grounded into a double play. But it was a very tough double play that he had to try to force right there. And
hit into right field, and it's going to get in between the right fielder and center fielder. Carry on and Casas is going all the way to the warning track into the dirt. They kick up a huge plume of it as they go to field the ball, and there's a 2 RBI double for Blake Conrad. 4-1 power in the bottom first.
Bauman Conrad decided to lay one out this time. We talked about the walks that he drew in that game, a very patient hitter. He finally takes one on the 1-1 count, and he puts it in the perfect spot, a 92 off the bat right there. And that was another breaking pitch that he laid up upon, just like Miles Walton did earlier in this inning.
And Grayson Gegg, the designated hitter. There's a runner on second to deal with. Cody Smith once again giving a little warning shot to Blake Conrad. First pitch, fouls that back against the net, barely lost any of the altitude.
This is where it becomes a good thing, too, when you start to get through the lineups early and fast against a starting pitcher, because they start to get used to what they see with the pitching. And obviously, most of these hitters here for the Power have already seen Cody Smith before, so they're starting to get used to his pitches even before.
And there's a pass ball, and it had a chance to just stay where it was, but Ian Nguyen, he stopped it and they let it go underneath him, and advancing to third is Blake Conrad. So another run just 90 feet away for the Power.
It's also active lifestyle night tonight here at the ballpark for, ironically, a $3 beer night. So get your run in, get your steps in, and go grab a beer right after.
Yes, put in those calories just after you burn a bunch.
You're not only going to feel better, but then you're also going to feel that beer belly later, if you know what I mean.
A 2-1 count to Grayson Gegg. Strike 2.
A good pitch spot right there. Fastball right on the inside corner there. And Dalton trying to figure out which pitch to take right here in this at-bat. Really hasn't found one he kind of has liked so far.
Ball 3, another full count. And Cody Smith is in danger of walking another power batter.
Okay, how many jumping jacks do you think we can do in the break for active lifestyle night?
Oh, my goodness. You're really making me think on that one. If I have to go by, like, the last time I did jumping jacks in high school, as he is walked, so runners on the corners still with 2 outs, and we go to the bottom of the order with Dalton Thomas. Oh, man, I can say if I'm doing a full jumping jack with no, like, shortcut in motion, I'll say 30.
Okay.
And then I'll be out of breath, and it'll be just you talking.
I'll do 40. We'll take, when we go to the break, we'll test that out.
Oh, you'll test that out.
I'll test it out.
Yeah. Fouled off the first pitch into the stands and getting over into the park next door.
And then the break after that, we got to do push-ups. The break after that, we got to do sit-ups.
And then pull-ups.
Pull-up. I don't even know if we can do pull-ups in here.
Yeah, there's nowhere to do pull-ups.
Yeah.
Right? The 0-1 pitch to Dalton Thomas. This is popped into shallow right center. Moving back as a second baseman. It's out of his reach, and it bounces away from him. Oh, that's a tough play to make. It's also a tough play to score, but a run comes home regardless. It's now 5-1 Power.
I think it's still a hit with the way that it kind of popped out of that glove right there, because you got Luna running after it like that over the shoulder. That's not an easy play to make. He didn't even go to shallow right field. He was going to mid right field.
Yeah, I think they're going to rule that. Yeah, that's going to be ruled a hit. It's a tough one because he did get his glove on it, but he was also arching his neck backwards to keep an eye on it. So our leadoff man, Austin Holler, back at the plate for a second time in this bottom first inning.
Yeah, this might be one of the very few times that we get to see the lineup roll over within the first inning for the Power. They're really trying to bounce back in a big way here today.
This is knocked deep into center field. Moving back is Carry On, and he makes the catch for out number 3 in a very long bottom first inning. After one, Power lead the Nighthawks 5-1. Colton They have a 4-run hole to dig themselves out of. We're going to go to the top of the second right after this commercial break. We'll be back.
Somewhere down there is you. And just like us, you're an amazing Palm Springs vacation home. I bet we have a lot in common. Elevated, yet down to earth. A place to soak it up, sip it down, and make a splash. A place where staying in is even better than going out. Not just a place for visiting, a place for living in the moment. That moment when vacation dreams become reality. You're one of Palm Springs' best kept secrets. Let's show you off. Because you're so much more than just a home. You're a destination. You're an adventure. You're an idyllic escape. You're a happy place.
Need a garage door replaced or repaired? Then go to Overhead Door Company. We do it all. Repairs, service, new installs, retrofits, and more. For over 100 years, Overhead Door has been committed to bringing you the best in residential garage doors, commercial doors, openers, and accessories. Whether you need a stylish new garage door for your home, a more energy-efficient commercial door for your business, or a better integrated door system for your industrial application, remember, if you don't see the red ribbon logo, you are not getting the genuine, the original overhead door products and service you need. Look for the red ribbon for products that are reliable and safe. Our service technicians are trained, knowledgeable, and background checked. Our continued success is due to our exceptional employees. Call 760-772-36.
All right, welcome back. It's the top of the second inning. Due up 6-7-8 for the Nighthawks. Seth Correa, Kanoa Luna, and Damien Casas. Now, the Nighthawks took a 1-run lead after the top of the first on that fielding error by Miles Walton in right field. And now they find themselves in a 5-1 hole, so Power responding quickly, and they have a 4-run deficit to dig themselves out of. There's ball 1.
Yeah, it was a very big inning there for the Power, and how about the run support for Jaden McNeely? He can focus now on just these hitters.
That's a slow chopper by the Nighthawks dugout. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Trying not to breathe deep into the mic right now because I just did 30 jumping jacks, so what'd you bet, 30?
I think I counted 32 if you include the first 2 that were kind of like half effort.
Oh, okay.
That's a grounder over, and it takes a weird hop. But Casey Klein is still over to get it to Mark Kirkland in time for the 6-3 putout. 1 away.
Yeah, good recovery there, and that's where that familiarity comes in with playing here at the stadium that many times. Now you get Casey Kleiman being able to make that play at shortstop and really bringing it back in with that weird hop there in the infield. We've seen that a lot of times this year that hasn't gone the defender's way. So good put out there by Casey.
Now here's Kano Luna, the second baseman. Ball 1. Now one thing that will work to Jay McNeely's advantage if he's able to get through this second inning without pitching as many times as Smith did in the first, he's going to be well off for the rest of this game. He could go 5 or 6 innings. There's strike 1.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, the first couple times he didn't really have a whole lot of run support. The Power did score 2 in the second game in the first inning. But now, in this situation, very much different. It's a different way to kind of less pressure on your back right now to really, you know, get a lot of these batters out quickly.
There's a 1-2 count. He fouls it back and stays alive. So the pitch count is up to 26, and through 1.1 innings, Cody Smith had 37 pitches in that bottom first. Oh, nearly hit by pitch. He kind of buckled right there and avoided it. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
He threw that one very inside. It almost, like you said, clipped Kainoa Lua right there on the inside half, and he had to use his disco moves to get out of the way of that pitch.
The 2-2 pitch in the similar spot. He swung and missed at that one, so he goes down swinging. 2 outs in the top of the second.
Bit of an awkward swing right there. I didn't think it was going to go after that inside pitch in the same spot again, too. The one that almost hit him, it was a very identical looking pitch, and this time he pulls the trigger on it.
Yeah, it had that late break, and it looked like it was going down the middle, but he curved it inside. That was the pitch he wanted to get the previous time, and it just broke too early. Now here's Damian Casas takes strike one.
And Jaden McNeely, the first time he pitched against the Colton Nighthawks, he had 79 pitches through 4 innings. The second time he had 60 pitches through 4 innings. So maybe we'll see if he tries to improve that count here.
And this is popped up to the second baseman, Dalton Thomas, moving over as he's just barely into the outfield grass, and that's a quick 1-2-3 inning for the Power defense on just 11 pitches. We're going to the bottom of the second with 2-3-4 due up. We'll be right back.
Building your business is no small undertaking, and you need the right team by your side. Whether you're just getting started or expanding nationwide, Pacific Premier Bank is here to support your business every step of the way. As your trusted banking partner, we can help guide you down the right path with customized solutions designed for your business. We'll help you achieve the success you deserve. Pacific Premier Bank. Let's build your future together.
Welcome back. It's the bottom of the second inning. 2-3-4 due up. Cato Kleiman, Miles Walton, and Mark Kirkland. In the bottom first, the Power went through 10 batters. Austin Haller, the leadoff man, came up to bat twice. Now here's Cato Kleiman. In his first at-bat, has sacrifice bunt that moved Austin Haller to second. Made way for Miles Walton's RBI double. That's grounded off the mound. It's going to take a bad hop and it's going to squeak by Luna at second base. So first pitch swinging gets a base hit into center field.
And he gave him the worth there on the breaking pitch right down Main Street, and Cato Kleiman able to get a very good piece on it, sent it right to the right side of the, to his right, I mean the second baseman defending right there in Luna, and he wasn't able to go get that ball in time as it rolled into the outfield.
Miles Walton, the right fielder, takes ball one. Oh, hit up right up the middle again. That one not off the mound, just whizzing by Cody Smith and soaring over second base. So 2 hits on 3 pitches, and we have 2 runners on as Cato Kleiman advances to second.
These are just quality hits right here. They're not even trying to really go and hit a long ball over the wall. They're just taking whatever they can get. The same pitch right down that gutter right there, 81, with that breaking pitch. And they just, less is more when it comes to swinging like that, right? You want to put the ball in play and put it in the right spot, so you got to read the pitches as they come.
And there's ball one. That could have been a wild pitch as the catcher, Newen, outstretched his arm as long as it could go. If that goes to the backstop, both runners advance.
And it just seems like that was kind of the element that was missing from those 2 games against the Pirates. They just weren't getting those kinds of line driver, low to the ground singles through the infield.
There's ball 2. And part of the reason for that is Cody Smith, he hasn't dipped much into his arsenal thus far, but you saw the Inland Valley pitchers. They were doing everything they had in their arsenal early, and it took the Power a long time to adjust, and by then it was too late.
Yeah, and the really big thing there was they used 5 different pitchers in that second game. They used 3 pitchers in the first game, and each different pitcher had a different way of approaching the strike zone. The first game was very different because they're not used to pitching or facing off against 3 different pitchers that throw 90 or mid-90s. That's exactly what they were doing, Landon Martin, Chris Hernandez, and Bobby Mahoney.
Yeah. And yeah, Bobby Mahoney was their new player, so he did a good job, and he got the save in that game. 3-1 count for Mark Kirkland. Power lead the Nighthawks 5-1 in the bottom second. Swings and misses, full count for the first baseman.
So now we're starting to see, though, even though this is a different team than the Pirates, but you know the Pirates and the Nighthawks are kind of right there in the standings, very close to each other, but
Hits this into left field, and then it's going to go foul, bouncing into the bullpen.
But the other thing was just the fact that the Pirates actually just had some pretty good talent at those pitching spots, and that's what allowed the Power to not really, like you said, they just weren't getting used to those pitches early on. They started figuring out later in the game.
This is popped into left field. This one going right to De La Torre, and neither runner can advance as it's not deep enough. So there's out number one, a fly out to left field.
See another pitch that Kirkland, obviously he got a good piece of that pitch on the too far up in the air for De La Torre in left field.
Casey Kleiman getting on base with a throwing error by John Petir. Goes right to the shortstop. He makes a leaping grab right on the edge of the outfield grass for out number two.
Yeah, very good play right there. And Martinez just elevated to go get that ball. I thought that was going to be dropping in for sure right there.
Yeah, his leap, it almost looked like he was a trampoline. Just the way my eyes read it, it's like, man, he jumped real high. And it wasn't off like the uneven turf to give himself that couple inch of a boost.
No, it wasn't.
And there's ball one to Jamal Ritter. And we got some news in the break. Jamal Ritter's his last game for the Power, as he is going to be declaring for the MLB draft. And we wish the best of luck to him.
Yeah, when I was talking to him between the games, he was really talking about how he wanted to really get this goal of being drafted into the MLB, and he's trying to follow in his footsteps of his cousin Ryan Ritter, who plays for the Colorado Rockies. He got called up about a month ago.
This is popped in foul territory down the third base line, and it's just out of play against the fence.
Yeah, his cousin has 7 RBIs, already 14 hits through just a handful of games so far this season. So it runs in the family where it comes to MLB playtime for the Ritter family, and Jamal Ritter is just trying to follow in that. So if he does make it to the MLB, that's a big deal. Good luck to the guy. And
there's ball 3. It's a 3-1 count.
And strangely enough, he would actually be a part of a very long line of former Power players that have gone to the MLB system.
The 3-1 pitch. Ooh, hits this into right field, and way back in the corner, not being able to run up enough in time and catch it, is Casas. That's an RBI single for Ritter, moving Miles Walton to third and bringing Cato Kleinman home.
Yeah, and he got another pitch that he just knew he could take. A same pitch, same break, 83 miles per hour. You see what's happening here, the pattern with the Power right now. They're taking the exact same pitches, and every time one of the batters does get out, they're talking to the next guy up and telling him, hey, watch out for this pitch. This is the pitch to go right after. And you see the similarities there. Same spot, same pitch, same breakage that they're going after.
Ball 1 near the chest of Blake Conrad. And hopefully, for Jamal Ritter, and I don't know how much he wants to stay close to home, but there are several. Hold on a sec. There's ball 2, and stealing second is Jamal Ritter. So 2-0 count for Blake Conrad, and now 2 runners in scoring position for the Power. But there are a handful of farm teams in California. You got Visalia Rawhide, Fresno Grizzlies, Rancho Cucamonga Quakes, Lake Elsinore Storm, Modesto Nuts, who are moving down here next year, and the Inland Empire 66ers. So there is a chance that maybe he can stay close and come by, on his off days or something. Who knows?
Yeah, I hope that he's really enjoyed his time here with the Power, and it seems like he has, just really putting out on the field. We saw the stolen base to home. He's leading the team in stolen bases. He really has been putting it out all in the field when he can.
It's a 3-1 count now to Blake Conrad. The only upside, I guess, for Miles Walton, for Jamal Ritter leaving, is he can eventually get more stolen bases than him by the end of the season.
He can finally take the lead.
Yeah. The 3-1 count. Outside. Ball 4, we have loaded bases with 2 outs in the bottom of the second. The Power are leading 6-1 over the Colton Nighthawks.
And now you start to see the Colton Nighthawks starting to go to that bullpen over there and really get that warmed up right now. It's Hunter Dawson over there for the Colton Nighthawks warming up.
You have a couple of players over there. It's number 21 in particular. That's actually an outfielder, Robert Deal, or another 21 player. There's 2 of them. There's ball 1 to Grayson Gegg. Yeah, Hunter Dawson. There are 221s on the Nighthawks, and there are also 212s. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And Dalton Thomas this year has been pretty good, who's on deck, and Gegg here in the batter's box right now. Gegg actually has been pretty good so far through this most recent stretch.
2 balls, 1 strike, because that one was outside.
And he started the last couple of games and got a few things going for the Power. 1 for 3 with a hit and a walk in the first game, and then a hit and able to get on board with a walk. So he's been very patient too so far.
He fouls that back. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now this is now the second time that there has been a batter facing 2 strikes with 2 outs in this inning. So they're going to have to figure something out here. As there's ball 3, and Cody Smith is really the one at control right now. And there's another full count. The payoff pitch, ball 4, and it's a walk-in run. 7-1 Power in the bottom second. Coming home is Miles Walton.
So his first 2 singles finally score here in the game, and it looks like Montano's going to pull Cody Smith here.
Cody Smith having a rough start, and if he is pulled, he is. It's finished with 1.2 innings and 63 pitches. We're going to get the final line, but right now coming in is Hunter Dawson. We'll be back.
Somewhere down there is you. And just like us, you're an amazing Palm Springs vacation home. I bet we have a lot in common. Elevated, yet down to earth. A place to soak it up, sip it down, and make a splash. A place where staying in is even better than going out. Not just a place for visiting, a place for living in the moment. That moment when vacation dreams become reality. You're one of Palm Springs' best kept secrets. Let's show you off. Because you're so much more than just a home. You're a destination. You're an adventure. You're an idyllic escape. You're a happy place.
Need a garage door replaced or repaired? Then go to Overhead Door Company. We do it all. Repairs, service, new installs, retrofits, and more. For over 100 years, Overhead Door has been committed to bringing you the best in residential garage doors, commercial doors, openers, and accessories. Whether you need a stylish new garage door for your home, a more energy-efficient commercial door for your business, or a better integrated door system for your industrial application, remember, if you don't see the red ribbon logo, you are not getting the genuine, the original Overhead Door products and service you need. Look for the red ribbon for products that are reliable and safe. Our service technicians are trained, knowledgeable, and background checked. Our continued success is due to our exceptional employees. Call 760-772-3667. Overhead Door Company. We sell the best and service the rest.
Look out to the leader. Overhead Door.
All right, welcome back. Hunter Dawson now pitching for the Colton Nighthawks. Dalton Thomas looking to go 2 for 2 as he had an RBI single in the first inning.
And the Power just continuing to add on the runs here, continue to give run support to Jaden McNeely.
There's strike 1.
Seems like we're on track for another big Power night.
Ooh, ball 1. That one barely missing. Oh, and stealing home. What a play. And
oh, my goodness.
Jamal Ritter does it again, ladies and gentlemen. The soon-to-be MLB draft prospect has his second steal of home this season.
I mean, how many times can you let that guy do what he does? Steal home not once, but twice in back-to-back games. Being able to do that many times. He's caught everybody in the stands off guard. He's caught the pitcher off guard. He caught even us up here off guard.
Yeah, he did. And you know what the trick to that was? He took off as soon as the ball was en route back to the pitcher from the catcher. Usually, and there's a 2-1 count for Dalton Thomas, what you see is them it's when they go up against a left-handed pitcher and they're just getting themselves warmed up on the mound, they're getting their arms loose, and that's when they take off. He did it when there was no chance for them to throw the ball because it was en route from one player to the other. That is a very smart decision by Jamal Ritter.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did the last game against the Pirates when he was right there in the 4th inning. The pitcher threw it back to, or the catcher threw it back to the pitcher, and Jamal Ritter went.
A swing and a miss, a full count for Thomas.
A little surprising, too, because Hunter Dawson is a righty pitcher, so he can see out of the corner of his eye Jamal Ritter there, but he was so focused on getting that ball back and not even the runner right there that Jamal Ritter just said, all right, you're going to sleep on me, I'll take you.
That one's fouled off. Dalton Thomas stays alive. That goes into the visitors' bullpen, and both base runners thought that was a fair ball, and they're going to have to go back.
Well, yes, with the 3-2 count here and 2 outs, they're going to go either way. So expect them to go right on this pitch, too. And if Dalton Thomas can keep the at-bat alive, they're going to keep running on every single pitch right here.
So the 2 runners on are still because of Cody Smith. And there's strike 3. Dalton Thomas goes down looking. And with that, we have the final line for Cody Smith. 1.2 innings pitched, 64 pitches, 5 balls, 0 strikeouts, 6 hits, 8 runs, 7 earned runs. So after 2 innings, the Power lead the Nighthawks 8-1. We're going to the top of the 3rd. We'll be back.
Jessup Auto Plaza has been proudly serving the Coachella Valley since 1938 as your trusted family-owned auto destination. Now, electrify your drive with the Valley's most extensive range of electric vehicles. Drive the Chevrolet Blazer, Equinox, Silverado, the powerful GMC Hummer, Sierra, and the distinctive Cadillac Lyric. Silent power, bold performance. Electrify your drive. Jessup Auto Plaza. Since 1938, the EV brands you love, the family you trust.
Hey, Coachella Valley, Patrick Summers here, General Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Spring is here and summer is right behind it. Don't get caught with a broken air conditioning system. Call us now. Let us get a tune-up done. We're offering a special for $79. It comes with a seasonal guarantee. Call our team today. Get yourself scheduled before the heat hits. Be proactive, not reactive. Go ahead and book at callthegeneral.com or call our offices and we'll get you taken care of.
Welcome back. It's the top of the 3rd, and the Power in the bottom 2nd tacked on 3 more runs. McNeely's still on the mound. He's going to face 9-1-2 in the order for the Nighthawks. River Martinez, Caden Carrion, and Robert De La Torre. There's strike 1. And this one getting out of hand early. The Power up by 7 after just 2. And we saw the Nighthawks lead 6-3 about midway through the first game this season. Then the Power ended up scoring 17 unearned to win 20-6.
Yeah, we thought that game would have been a back-and-forth affair like we talked about with the runs from the Colton Nighthawks coming up. But then the Power started plowing their way through the Colton Nighthawks in that game. They scored 6 in the fifth inning, 4 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th, and then they never looked back ever again with 6 more in the 8th inning.
2-1 count for River Martinez. There's ball 3 near the knees.
And now if you're Jaden McNeely, you have a little bit more runs to work with. You can relax a little bit. You can start testing around these batters right now and trying different pitches.
3-1, swing and a miss. A curveball inside, and it's a full count. Now, there was a PSCL game that started out 8-1 after 2 innings. That was between the Bombers and the Rush, and that went back and forth. The Rush stormed back to, and I'll finish that story in a minute. That goes foul. So I'll stay alive at the plate. The Rush stormed back and scored 10 unearned to go up 11-8. Then the Bombers walked it off in the bottom of the 7th and won 12-11. And so 8-1 is a familiar sight, a familiar score at this part of the game right now at Palm Springs Stadium this week.
Yeah, we saw today there was also a game just like that where one of the teams were down 6-4. It was the Colonials who finally got another win on the season, their second win of the year, and it was a comeback win. They were down 6-4, I think, in the 4th inning.
Oh, and there's strike 3. River Martinez thought he had ball 4, so he's retired on 7 pitches, 1 away in the top 3rd.
He got rung up on the outside corner pitch that came right in there, a curveball pitch thrown by McNeely, and now he's starting to test that arsenal a little bit here.
Now we'll go back top of the order. Kane Carrion flew out to left field on the first pitch of the game. McNeely delivers. Ball 1. The 1-0. That he bunts it and it goes foul over to the power dugout. 1 ball, 1 strike.
So that, I mean, obviously the PSCL scores that we're talking about here, those can happen in the PSCL. It's a little tougher to do it when you have the way that the power play defensively. You have your best defensive players out there right now on the field.
Oh, that's grounded. It's going to get past Austin Holler at 3rd, and it was a line drive just whizzing along the 3rd baseline, rounding to 2nd, going to 3rd as it went all the way in the corner. And Cato Kleiman had to go all the way to the wall to fetch that. So there is a 1-out triple for Caden Carrion.
Very well hit. That was put literally hugging that 3rd base line 91 miles off the exit, and he sent it right in the perfect spot. Once you get into that margin between the fence and the chalk right there, it's hard to go dig those balls out, especially the way that Cato had to go get that ball. He had to dig that thing out from a squirrel's burrow, it seemed like.
I wonder if I joked before the season started, did any of those little burrows ever count towards dead balls, because the ball may be inaccessible, and the people who have worked here longer than I have said, oh, we have no idea, that's never happened. But you never know.
Never know. Maybe it has happened at some point. No one's ever told us, but thankfully, I think most of the burrows are already patched up before the season anyway, so we shouldn't have that problem.
1 ball, 1 strike to Robert DeLatorre. Another thing to note on that play was Austin Howell thought it was going foul, and so he took 2 steps towards it, didn't make a move on it, and you kind of see him like raise his arms in frustration as it stays fair. It's like, I could have dove for that. That's a grounder to Dalton Thomas. He stumbles, he can't glove it, and it's going to get away from him. That was a tough play to make, and a run comes home. It's now 8-2 Power, and that's going to be ruled an error on Thomas.
So because of the way that ball rolled down that line there, I think Thomas could have had a chance to play it, but it seemed like he tripped when he was going down to the ground right there, which forced that ball to kind of pop away from him as it bounced off his body, and then it just rolled away right there. So just a tough play there for Dalton Thomas, who, by the way, has been very good at that second base position throughout the season when he's played.
Yeah, he has. In the last game, I believe he came in as a pinch hitter late in the order. And there's strike 1 to Sean Green. And Sean Green is one of 4 new additions to this Colton Nighthawks roster since they last played the Power. The 0-1, taken off for second, and he'll have to go back because that's a foul ball.
Hey, that's okay. We love to see the runner, Robert DeLatorre, get some extra steps in like that. It is active lifestyle night tonight, so get your steps in, DeLatorre.
You know what I wish they had? Those little those little styrofoam plastic weights that they have like at Rams games for the kids to use, like like at training camp and stuff. I would have loved to see that. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I'm surprised we don't have like a bench press machine that has like the foam. You ever think about that SpongeBob episode where he's lifting the stuffed animals? What if we had that for the kids here?
I don't. I've seen a lot of SpongeBob clips from memes, but I can safely say I haven't seen that one.
Okay.
That's going to drift foul to out of play. Miles Walton chasing after it, but it's well out of his reach.
I don't think that was gonna. I don't think he was gonna be able to get that one because that ball was carrying with the wind. We talked about it earlier. It's blowing from left to right field right now, so that ball literally got tailed by the wind here.
Yeah, the one funny weightlifting scene that I remember from the movie is Little Giants in the third act, and the blonde kid who runs slow. I forget his name. He's doing pull-ups, and then the camera pans down. You realize you're standing on a stool. That's just really funny scene. So, folks, if you haven't seen The Little Giants with Ed O'Neill and Rick Moranis, go and watch it. It's hilarious.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Ball 2. And that Ed O'Neill had a late start to his Hollywood career, so that was one of his first movies, even though he was already in his 40s, I think. So, and yeah, he does a great job. And there's another pickoff attempt at first, and Robert DeLatorre is safe.
I'm always fascinated where you get your information about, or I mean, you've seen the movie, right? But where do you find these movies to watch?
My dad introduced that movie to me.
Ah, there it is.
Swing and a miss. Sean Green goes down on strikes. 2 outs in the top of the third.
That's the third strikeout of the day for Jaden McNeely. And we're talking about how he can test with those pitches, and he pulls out the cutter fastball right there and lays it out in the outside corner. He's able to get Sean Green to swing on the outside pitch right there.
And Ian Newen, the catcher, walked in his first play appearance and was tagged out going to second on a double play, and that ended the top of the first inning. McNeely delivers the first pitch. Strike 1. So 2 runs have scored for the Nighthawks, but both are unearned to McNeely, as there was the error by Walton in right field that allowed DeLatorre to come home, and then the E4 by Dalton Thomas that allowed Caden Carrion to come home. This is carrying towards Miles Walton in right, barely had to take a few steps over to his left to make the catch. And that is how the top of the third will end. The Nighthawks tack on another run on a fielding error. And now we're going to the bottom of the third, where the Power lead 8-2. We'll be back.
For 20 years, our family's mission has been simple. It all starts at Stuffed, where exceptional service meets bold flavors. Every crust, a masterpiece. Cocktails crafted to perfection in an atmosphere that brings family and friends together. Stuffed pizza. Dine in or take out. Savor and enjoy at our 2 locations. Quality, service, family legacy, it all starts at Stuffed.
Whenever you find yourself hungry for something real, simple, and true, we're here for you.
That's what a hamburger's all about.
Monster Shakes, the best ice cream creations in the desert and only place in the world that serves all 10 flavors of Dole Soft Serve. The winner of the best soft serve and smoothies, home to the world's best date shake and other fun creations like ice cream nachos and the cotton candy burrito. For a limited time, come in and try your luck. Any soft serve that weighs exactly 16 ounces is free. Monster Shakes in Palm Springs and Cathedral City, facing the Mary Pickford. Franchise opportunities available too. Monster Shakes, a delicious mess.
To the bottom of the third we go. Hunter Dawson now on the mound for his first full inning of work. Now he'll face the top of the order, Austin Howler, Cato Kleinman, and Miles Walton. Now, the second inning kind of bounced out the first because Austin Howler batted twice in the first, the only batter to do so, and then he didn't bat at all in the second. So it all evens out, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
That should be how it works, right?
Ideally.
Ideally.
Yeah. The first pitch to Howler from Dawson. Strike 1.
I don't think it's been ideal, though, for the Nighthawks, this coaching staff, when it comes to letting the lineup go through 2 times already, and now here in the third inning, you've got it right back to the top right there. Not exactly ideal, but the Power just have been able to really jump back here with what we kind of consider a stall from the offense in the early innings of those last 2 games with the Pirates there. So, I mean, obviously not trying to overanalyze it, but that's just the way that it went.
There's ball 1. It's a pass ball, goes behind the batter. So,
I mean, it's a good sign, though, from the Power. The big thing is just to be able to stay keyed in here and be able to finish the game tonight. And whether you get more hits or more runs, it now just becomes a pitcher's battle to keep it there.
And Austin Haller goes down on strikes. There's 1 out in the bottom of the 3rd, and Cato Kleiman come into the plate now. And now they will get their chance at revenge against the Inland Valley Pirates, but at their place, they're going to be at Azusa Pacific's baseball field. And you and I have both called games there, but not this summer, in past summers before we knew each other. Tell us about your time calling it in that weird press box above the first base dugout.
Well, it's like built on the first base line at Azusa Pacific, and
there's ball 1, 1-1 count. Continue.
And it's built like so the dugout's built right on the first base line, right? And then on top of it, you have this weird wooden box-looking thing, and inside that dugout is also an equipment room. You get to go into the equipment room, climb up the ladder.
2-1.
Climb up the ladder to go into this press box, and then you have to go walk around in a very similar to this press box, a little like tight space inside, and that's how you see the field, right? You look at it from that first base line right here with the rest of the field.
Yeah, and you don't get really a good eye on the pitches because you're staring at it from like the perspective of the people in the dugout. There's ball 3 for Cato Kleiman, 3-1.
Yes. And see, that's where the things like TrackMan kind of help at ballparks, which obviously I don't know if Azusa Pacific has, but it does make it a little tougher to kind of judge those pitches from up there.
There's ball 4, 1 out walk for Cato Kleiman. And yeah, what is interesting is I called games there. It was for, the Ventura County Pirates and Ventura County Buccaneers of the Sunset Baseball League 3 years ago. And I still have my scorebook from that, and there was one pitcher that I forget which team it was. He batted, or he walked 6 players, and he got pulled. And then he came in right below on the broadcast. You could hear him just cursing up a storm, and we had to apologize to the listeners because he was just so angry with himself. There's ball 1 to Miles Walton.
Yeah, so it'll be a weird press box to kind of call that game out of because when I was there that one time, I was a spectator watching the game between 2 summer teams.
Oh, that took a weird hop.
Whoa.
Nearly gets to us in the press box. So for those watching, you probably saw, but if you're listening on the radio, what happened was it went off the bat, then it went off the catcher's helmet, and right off the crown, it bounced over the net and right in front of the room right next to us where the public address and announcer and DJ are.
Yeah, that came off of John DeCaesar's helmet, and it somehow had enough force off the ricochet to come over the net and then land basically right in front of the press box to our right here.
1 ball, 2 strikes for Miles Walton.
That might be the weirdest way. If that came in here, that would have been the weirdest way to get a souvenir.
That's going to be grounded, right to the third baseman, Petir, but he's not able to scoop it up. Fast velocity off the bat. And so that 1-out single will advance Cato Kleiman over to second.
Yeah, Cato Kleiman now is having Miles Walton, excuse me, is having himself a day right now. 2 singles and a double with a stolen base and an RBI and 2 runs scored. So Miles Walton is having himself a night, showing off maybe he's ready to take over Jamal Ritter's spot.
Maybe, and he's already on his way, like now with that stat line to be player of the game, but with so many hits and runs already, that could be a number of power players. But Miles Walton, I think, is ahead of the pack.
He's the only player right now that has multiple hits in this game right now.
The 1-0 pitch to Kirkland, ball 2.
Yeah, the rest of the power hitters have basically just reached on walks or with a hit or even errors too. So Walton is stepping up here for the power right now.
The 2-0 pitch, the wind still blowing as strong as it was before. There's ball 3, and Hunter Dawson is 1 ball away from loading the bases. You were talking about TrackMan at that baseball field for Azusa Pacific. For summer ball, as Mark Kirkland has walked, we have loaded bases with 1 out in the bottom 3rd. Power leading 8-2. They they didn't have it for the summer, but I'm sure they have it for the when they play baseball in the spring, because yeah, it is very difficult to get a read on a pitch from that spot.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Because you're seeing it from a lateral perspective rather than the vertical usual look that you see, like what we have here in the press box. What you see on your screen right now is what we see up here. And if you're listening on the radio, it's literally just a straight shot towards center field.
So strike one to Casey Kleinman. He wants to bring his brother home, and perhaps Walton Kirkland as well. Hit into right field, and he does just that. One Kleinman bats in another, and it's a 2 RBI single for Casey Kleinman on the 0-1 pitch. 10-1 power here in the bottom third.
Another good piece of hitting right there. Able to reach for the second time tonight. Score 2 runs, 2 more RBIs for Casey Kleinman with a very good hit to right field.
So only in the third inning, and now every fan in attendance gets a free dessert coupon to McDonald's. McFlurry.
You sound a little hungry there, partner.
I'm not hungry. I have a sweet tooth right now.
Aha, I see.
Ball 1 to Jamal Ritter. And making the most of his last game in the collegiate ranks before entering the MLB draft. Oh, there's a slow pickoff move, and that was very strange. Yes, going to third, tagged out is Mark Kirkland for out number 2, so that's a 2-0 count. The slow pass ball gets away from Newen, and the power batters, while they were going to third and second, they took off. Mark Kirkland just a little too late. So 2-5 put out, retires Kirkland.
Yeah, it came away from Wynn for a second, and
that one going foul way over to the home batting cages.
And I got away from Wynn right there, just to his right side, and then he picks it up, and I don't know what exactly happened there. If the runners for the power thought it was a foul ball, both Casey and Mark Kirkland, they were running slow to the other bags, thinking maybe they had to go back, and then they finally saw the call from the umpire saying it was still in play. So a weird little event right there, but again, the score is still 10-2, so that you don't really have to be super serious with that right there.
Yeah, this is a chance you want to take some chances when you have an 8-run cushion like this. And 3-1, fouling it back, soaring over the press box, and full count for Ritter.
It's the second time tonight that he has worked it up to. No, actually, I'm sorry. The almost the third time that he's worked it up to a full count.
Yeah, he had a 3-1 count in the second inning, and it was a full count in the first inning, and now again here. That's a slow chopper going over to the second baseman, Luna, and it bounced over his head, and it bounced so high that he did not have time to throw it over to first. Then he throws it to the catcher because Casey Kleinman was coming home, and then he goes back to third, and he slides in back safely. So that single results in Casey Kleinman being safe. And now runners on the corners of 2 outs.
Yeah, very good awareness right there from Wynn to be able to see that Casey was halfway down the baseline. And Casey, good job to sprint all the way back and put your foot under the tag right there under the covering third baseman Petrie. Again, there's a reason why Jamal Ritter's so fast. He shows off at why with that 2-hop grounder up in the air. There was no chance left there for Luna to make a play.
And that's a slow chopper again. This one going to the third baseman, and he'll try to cut him off, and he does not. It's another bad throw that forces Green off the bag. So an E5 again results in Casey Kleinman coming home safely, Jamal Ritter advancing to second safely, and Blake Conrad getting on first.
Yeah, another awkward throw right there, just high above his mark in Green as you see him with his hands on his pips right there. The second time that has happened tonight.
Now Grayson Gegg. Grounds that. This is going to get to the shortstop, and he stands up, and it falls out of his hand as he begins to throw it. Oh, and that's tough. I don't know if that's going to be an error or a hit, but the big question is, could he have made that throw even?
I don't think so, just because Grayson Gegg is a lot faster down the baseline than most runners too, and just the way that he had to slide into deep deep infield right there. It was an 81 mile per hour hit off the bat right there. So definitely a hit.
Yeah, that's going to be ruled an infield single for Grayson Gegg. Conrad at second, Jamal Ritter at third. And will we see another stolen home attempt here?
Okay, it looks like they're going with the error here, actually.
Well, it still says 2 errors out there on the... Oh, and that's popped back. A 1-1 count. Yeah, both errors so far that are confirmed for the Colton Nighthawks are both by the third baseman, once in the first and once in the third. And with this plate appearance by Dalton Thomas, so far the Power are averaging 9 plate appearances per inning. That's the whole order. The 1-1 pitch finds a zone. 1-2. And strike 3. Dalton Thomas goes down looking for the second time. So we're through 3, and it's 11-2 Power. We're going to the top of the 4th with 5, 6, 7 due up for the Nighthawks. We'll be back right after this on Fox Sports 1270 AM radio and YouTube.
Everyone knows good things come in threes, like Dave & Buster's Eat, Drink, and Play combo for just $19.99, including one mouth-watering entree, a refreshing beverage, a $10 power card, and a whole lot of fun, which means you enjoy a delicious meal for under $10. Oh, look, that's 5 good things. Good things come in threes at Dave & Buster's with the Eat, Drink, and Play combo for just $19.99. Buy online or in-store today.
Hello, Power Baseball fans. At SBMP Attorneys, we believe in the power of community. And that's why we proudly support the Palm Springs Power, our hometown baseball team. After a memorable championship season in 2024, capping off the team's 20th anniversary, we're all very excited about the 2025 Power team. SBMP Attorneys and the Palm Springs Power are 2 teams that are committed to excellence, community, and the spirit of winning. We'll see you all at the ballpark.
Top of the 4th we go. Jaden McNeely's still on the mound, only thrown 51 pitches through 3 innings, averaging 17 per inning. 5, 6, 7 due up John Petrie, Seth Correa, and Kanoa Luna. A 9-run cushion to work with. It just keeps getting bigger every time he comes back to the mound. Swinging at the first pitch and driving it into left field. That's going to bounce well before it gets to Cato Kleiman. He's throwing it in. And the quick relay keeps him at first. Usually hits there, it results in a double. But Cato Kleiman, he's got that speed, and he's got that zip on that throw.
Yeah, he certainly has that zip right there. We haven't seen him play left field too much this season, but now he's starting to showcase why he has a good ability to make throws right there with a smaller stature like that. Jose Altuve, there's a reason why the Astros switched him out there in outfield, because he still has a good arm even at that next level.
Strike 1 to Seth Correa. Altuve been second base for a number of years, and now, playing left field. I didn't even know that. And that's going to be, for the Dodgers, the Astros are coming to town this week, so it's going to be an interesting matchup. There's ball 1. So as it stands, it's the top of the 4th. Power lead the Nighthawks 11-2, no outs. And there's a runner on first. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Seth Correa, the designated hitter. Oh, hits it deep into right field. Miles Walton moving backwards, now kind of turning his body and making the catch for out number 1, and John Petrie's going to have to go back to first.
It's a pretty well hit ball too. It was just a little bit under the swing. That traveled 339 feet. It was 90 miles off the bat, but the exit angle is what catches my eye right there. 37 degrees. Anything over 32 degrees usually would not leave the park with a 90 exit velo.
You got some geometry lessons with TrackMan and Justin Lee. Thank you for that.
That's what you learned from physics class.
You're giving me flashbacks to when I was struggling to pass geometry in high school.
You know what? I was too.
Yeah.
We're both in the same chair right there.
So basically, that's 37 degrees on the y-axis.
Yes, exactly.
The no balls, 1 strike to Kainona Luna.
If you folks haven't figured it out, there's a reason why we're broadcasting.
Oh, and a late steal attempt, and that's going to get past Casey Kleinman at short and go into center field, but that was the ball, and Casey Kleinman, he was behind the bag, closer to the outfield, so he would have been safe anyway. So the 1-1 count now to Kainona Luna, and the Nighthawks have a runner in scoring position. The 1-1 pitch for McNeely. Ooh, finds the zone. That curveball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kainona Luna struck out swinging his first time at the plate. That was in the 2nd inning for out number 2. McNeely taking a deep breath. Delivers. Goes with the same pitch. He gets a piece of that off the inside of the bat. Dalton Thomas scoops it up and throws it to Kirkland at first for out number 2. And that moves John Petrie over to third.
Yeah, always a routine play when you have Dalton Thomas right there at second base, able to make that good play right there, and always tandem of Dalton Thomas and Mark Kirkland. Never can go wrong with that duo right there.
Damian Casas, the right fielder, takes strike 1.
Now, I want to remind folks here on the broadcast that there's a big game happening this week, or weekend, I should say, on Friday. Do you know what it is, Charlie?
It's the 4th of July.
Oh, yeah.
A swing and a miss, kind of half-hearted attempt on that swing. He started low and ended high. Just held it out straight as soon as he realized he didn't make contact. It's supposed to be a sellout crowd. There's going to be fireworks over in right field during the postgame and maybe during the pregame too, I think. I'm not sure if I misheard that. And there, Damian Casas goes down swinging for out number 3. So the Nighthawks strand a runner at third, and through 4 innings, Jay McNeely's only allowed 4 hits. So we're going to the bottom of the 4th. The Power lead 11-2. We'll be back.
There's something winning in the Agua. Catch all the action at 360 Sports at Agua Caliente Casinos. Watch your favorite teams on our giant wraparound screens. See live scores on the LED sports ticker. Win big with our bar top games and enjoy great twists on bar food favorites. And with 3 premier casino locations, 360 Sports is the ultimate fan experience. For more information, visit aguacalientecasinos.com.
Across the Coachella Valley, you'll find our communities powered by short-term rentals. These rentals bring visitors and dollars to the region. Whether attending events, checking out the art scene, or dining at restaurants, when they spend money, we all score. The nearly $1 billion impact of short-term vacation rentals generates tax revenues that fund police, firefighters, education, and many other programs that improve our daily lives. To learn why short-term rentals are a grand slam for the home team, visit onecv.org.
Shopping for car insurance is confusing. Holy cow.
Great. Now we have a cow in our kitchen. Why did you say that?
Because I don't know what coverage to choose.
So just say the State Farm jingle. A State Farm agent can go over all your options with you and help choose coverage that meets your needs. Dude, cow, could you move?
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome back to the bottom 4th. Power leading the Nighthawks 11-2. You're listening to Fox Sports 1270 AM radio in Palm Springs, or you might be watching on YouTube. And we just had an interesting kind of race around the bases, didn't we? Just
Might
now?
be the most competitive one I've seen, honestly. Both of the pushers lost their shoes, but they were pushing pretty hard.
And one of them, the one that was rounding the bases the right way, was he pushed at the last second and actually caused the momentum to go away, and the other team won. And so, yes, that was a good race. And I brought this up to the music people because we're in the desert, right? And usually this happens around the sunset time. And they play Mario Kart music. They should play music from Sunset Wilds and Mario Kart Super Circuit because it's perfect. You know,
Yeah.
we're in the desert and the sun's going down. Sunset Wilds is a very underrated track. They brought it back for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe in the Booster Pass pack. So, I would love to hear that music next time.
I think you just lost us a few viewers there, Charlie. No, just kidding. But, yeah, I mean, I guess Charlie has a bone to pick with our folks here in the music booth.
They're just missing a golden opportunity to make art imitate life. And now here's Austin Haller leading off for the third time today, and the Power still averaging 9 plate appearances per inning through 3.
Yeah, with the rate that this game is going so far.
And speaking of which, the first pitch from Hunter Dawson, Austin Haller skies it into center field, but it is caught immediately by Carry On for out number 1.
Another pitch right down the heart of the plate. Just had to take that one, and he tried to piece it over the head, but didn't exactly get the best out of that swing right there.
He got a good hit on it, and sometimes depending on where the center fielder is once it comes off the bat, that would bounce out safely. But it's Garrett. We have a new player on the mound, and give us 1 second. Yeah, it's number 32. A swing and a miss, starting low and ending high.
Yeah, and a new addition to the Power lineup here in Bivacqua, and this is somebody who, if you know his father, then you know what type of history that this family has. Garrett Bivacqua from Lewis Clark State. His father was Kurt Bivacqua. He played in the majors for 15 years, most notably with the San Diego Padres in the 1984 World Series, where he was the DH.
The 1-2 count for Garrett Bivacqua. Yes, he's repping number 32. And, yeah, we're just waiting for the correction from the public address announcer before we set it on the air. There's ball 2 in the dirt.
Yes.
And Garrett Bivacqua has bounced around from college to college. He was at Orange Coast College and St. Cloud, and now, most recently, Lewis and Clark State College. He hits this into left field. Moving up is De La Torre, and he's not going to get there in time. Instead, the shortstop makes a move for it, and Bivacqua, he got to first safely. He was halfway to second before the shortstop had the ball in his glove. He could have gone to second, and instead he elects to go back to first. So that's a 1-out single, and his batting average for now is 1,000.
Yeah, 1,000 for Mr. Garrett Bivacqua, who has been bouncing around a lot of schools. So way to make your Power debut, Garrett Bivacqua. That was an awkward play right there in that no man's territory, like right behind the third baseman into shallow left field. And it was weird that Martinez called off the original person who was going to go get the ball in Petrie, because it seemed like Petrie had a better angle on it than Martinez, but Martinez tries to go for it and lets it go into the ground right there.
Yeah, so Garrett Bivacqua, pinch hitting. He was in the reserve, so he was going to come in and play today. We just weren't sure when or at what position, but he's in now. And we'll see if it's a straight switch in the top of the 5th if he goes into left field replacing Cato Kleiman. 2 balls, no strikes for Miles Walton. Ooh, load in the dirt. That bottom of the zone, and we have ball 3. The 3-0 pitch. There's ball 4. And a 4-pitch walk advances Walton to first and Bivacqua to second.
And Bivacqua was going either way on that pitch. And he knew if Miles Walton was going to get a strike pitch right there, and then he was going to go take second and get his first steal of the season.
So, yeah, Miles Walton, he's still 3 for 3, as the walk does not count towards your batting average, but he has an on-base percentage of 1,000 with 3 hits and a walk today. Swing and a miss for Mark Kirkland. 0-1.
I don't know if you really see the way that Mark Kirkland, but he's turning his head away from the pitch right now. Keep that head in there when you start swinging at these pitches. If you really want to track that ball and get that bat right to where you want to crack it to which side you want.
And here's another thing about his posture is usually the feet are aligned and the toes are equal distance away from the edge of the batter's box, but his right foot as a left-handed batter is way back behind his left foot. His right foot is behind his left foot, and not sure exactly why he does that. Maybe just in case he gets a hit, he can have a little bit of a quicker start to run to first, but it's worked out for him thus far. It's 3 balls, 1 strike.
Yeah, lets him set up in that box right there, and then you see when he loads up, he brings that foot right parallel to his left foot when he loads up right there, so you know his hips are ready to turn to that right field side to pull it through.
Oh, he thought he had ball 4. Instead, it's strike 2. He was about to toss his bat over to Casey Kleiman, who's on deck. Full count for the first baseman. Hunter Dawson delivers, and there's ball 4. We have loaded bases with 1 out here in the bottom 4th, and this is similar territory that the Nighthawks defense faced in the bottom 3rd. And we're going to have an infield meeting. Looks like the third baseman's coming over to talk to Dawson.
Yeah, 9 walks so far in this game for the Power. A big, massive, fat number right there, and they've been able to knock in multiple hits in this game. They have just shown out why they're so good. When they are locked in and keyed in, this is exactly the team that we definitely, or a lot of fans hope to see when they play against teams like the Inland Valley Pirates, the Legends, and the Bucks, who's they've split games with the other teams in that organization.
A swing and a miss for Casey Kleiman, strike 1. And yeah, you mentioned it. And the Inland Valley Baseball Association is comprised of 3 teams that kind of like rotate players and trade them in and out. And they also play very different fields. So they're used to playing against different squads at different times of the year. That's fouled off. So it's no balls, 2 strikes for Casey Kleiman.
But it seems like over the past few years, when they started to come up around in the Inland Empire is where they call home, they've been able to get some better talent on their team. When they played the Pirates, there was a guy from USC on that team. I think one of the organization also has a guy from Oregon, too.
Yeah, they had a couple Cal State Fullerton players as well, and one Cal State Northridge player and a Cal State Northridge commit. Dear D1 players from Southern Illinois and a team and a school in Texas as well. I forget which one it was, but yes, they had a very stacked roster as far as talent. Not too different from what we were talking about during the pregame show before the first game against the Nighthawks, because they had a couple of Oregon guys who pitched 95 miles per hour during the perfect game events in high school. So it's a 1-2 pitch. This is skied into shallow center field. 3 players making a move on it, and it's the right fielder who decides to make the catch, and it's not deep enough for any runner to come home. So Casey Kleiman flies out to right.
Yeah, here's the other thing about the Colton Nighthawks. I think we've said this a few times when we were observing their roster. A lot of these guys are also newly committed players coming out of high school. So yes, they are Division I players, but they don't have that skill level or that talent or that experience yet. Whereas the Power, they bring a lot of these experienced players into the league and give them exposure to try to go to the next level. So, you know, Pioneer League. Jamal Ritter might get drafted into the MLB, those types of things, for example. So the Nighthawks, yes, they're young, but they just don't have the experience like the Power do.
And Jamal Ritter swings and misses at the first pitch.
And they kind of show it, though, right? Especially in the last 2 matchups, the way that the Power have gone up, experience says more than talent, it seems like.
Sometimes that is the deciding factor, and but you never know in any given game. Any mistake can change the scales and the momentum in from one team's favor to the other. It's the 1-1 count for our future MLB draft prospect, Jamal Ritter. Loaded bases with 2 outs in the bottom 4th. Power lead 11-2. He skies this real high into right field, and moving up, Casas making the catch. He almost overran it, and then he sticks his glove out back behind him to make the catch. A very nice move right there. So through 4, Power still leading the Nighthawks 11-2. You're listening to Palm Springs Power Baseball on Fox Sports 11 or 1270 AM radio and YouTube.
The Management Trust is a 100% employee-owned company. Every employee has a vested interest in providing memorable experiences to every homeowner and board members of HOAs. It's a very powerful thing. No homeowners association is too small or too large for us to manage. From community maintenance services to customized absentee home care, the Management Trust provides just about every service any homeowner could ask for. Hi, I'm Damien with the Management Trust. We're a community management built differently for your homeowners association. To find out how, give me a call.
Outdoor living in the Coachella Valley is spectacular, and Tessera is the premier builder of outdoor living spaces in the desert. Nobody does it better than Tessera. From one end of this valley to the other, from Palm Springs to Rancho Mirage, Palm Desert, to Indio and La Quinta. For 35 years, we've created the ultimate in outdoor living, landscaping, pools, and patios, so you and your family can enjoy each other. Live well. Live Tessera.
Quality first. It's quite a philosophy to live by. But world-class ingredients are the foundation of great meals. And we wouldn't have it any other way. At Kaiser Grill in downtown Palm Springs, we believe you deserve the best. So whether it's dinner for two or a celebration with 200 friends, quality is our promise to you. Because quality is king. Quality is Kaiser.
Welcome back. It's the top of the fifth. We are at 9-1-2 part of the order, same leadoff order that we had in the top of the third. So it's River Martinez at the plate right now, still facing Jaden McNeely.
Yeah, this is the first time Jaden McNeely has made it this far into the game against the Colton Nighthawks. He's only pitched 4 in each of the first 2 matchups that these two teams have had against each other. So Jaden McNeely, if he finishes this inning, he'll get the win almost instantaneously the way that the score is still here.
Yeah, the 1 pitch to River Martinez and takes ball 1. And it is a straight switch at left field. New player Garrett Bavacqua has a straight switch with Cato Kleinman, so Kleinman is done for the night. He finishes 1 for 1. A 1-1 pitch now to River Martinez. Ball 2. Neely goes right down the middle, and Martinez gets a piece of it and fouls it off into the park next door. Still at the plate, it's a 2-2 count now.
And this is a much better outing here from Jaden McNeely. Wise, he's gone through 4 innings, only given up 4 hits to the Colton Nighthawks. 2 runs, 1 of those only earned.
Hit into center field. Jamal Ritter moving a few steps over to his left to make the catch for out number 1. So Caden Carrion rounded to the top of the order now for the 3rd time. 1 for 2 flew out to left, then had a triple out into left. And that's very unlikely as he's a left-handed batter, so those are opposite side hits. Yeah, ball 1 up high.
Yeah, when he had that hit back in the 3rd inning, he literally just poked it down that left field line and was able to shoot it through in the perfect spot to really give himself a lot of time to get the 3rd.
A check swing, holds up, and it was outside. So 2 balls, no strikes, and now Conrad's going out to talk to McNeely.
Yeah, McNeely has missed the last couple of pitches on the outside corners. So he's Conrad again. There's a reason why you're bringing your teammate up in here. You get them in the right spot right there, and with your teammate there, you can lock in a little bit better in that situation.
And if you're hearing in the background some kids' voices, because we have 3 different kids that are going to announce the batters in the bottom 5th for the power, 1 for each. And it's the first time I've seen 3 kids up here. There's ball 3.
Yeah, it seems like maybe 1 batter for each kid getting to call the power lineup here today.
The 3-0. There's strike 1.
So yeah, the big event this Friday would be the July 4th game. Big PSEL All-Stars. The roster's already out, so if you follow the PSEL,
that bounces foul, and it's a full count for carry-on.
If you follow the PSEL Instagram, you can go find all the details there of who's in the All-Star game. A lot of really good players have been selected into that. Maybe a few snubs here and there, But who am I to disagree with the way that they've picked it? It seems like they picked the right guys.
That one bouncing over, this time in fair territory. Mark Kirkland scoops up and tags the bag unassisted. 2 up, 2 down in the top of the 5th.
So it should be a good game because you get a plethora of different pitchers from the PSCL facing off against the power roster who will figure out how to stay strong throughout the game and show off their endurance. And the PSCL will be fresh with pitchers every single inning when that game happens. And again, one of the more big events because we get the big fireworks here for the entire city of Palm Springs.
There's ball 1. And some of the power players are also PSCL players, so you never know some like matchups that we could see. They could be giving their team some hints as far as this player's strengths and weaknesses. 1 ball, 1 strike now to Robert De La Torre. On deck, Sean Green. The 1-1 pitch to De La Torre. Ball 2 outside.
Yeah, it should be a very good game. And right now, the way that it stands in terms of temperature, it should be one of the coldest or cooler games that we've had in recent memory for the 4th of July game. It was a pretty big heater one last year. So it should be a good one for all the fans if you did come out to the ballpark. Cool temperature. We got the largest sprinkler system in the entire state or the entire nation for that matter. And you get to watch a ball game and watch some fireworks.
It's grounded over to Casey Kleinman. Oh, he had it in his glove and it kind of rolled out. Ooh, and that's a routine play we've seen him make many times. That'll be E6. So runner gets on base, and the top of the 5th continues.
Yeah, a pretty rare play by Casey Kleinman right there. We don't see that often in these situations where Casey Kleinman actually has been very good at that shortstop position, taking in the place of many of the other power players that have been there in that spot. And he just makes that first mistake, a 1 in a million shot for Casey Kleinman this year.
Here's the first pitch, inside, low to the knees to Sean Green.
And that's actually the second time that Robert De La Torre has reached on an error today, actually.
Yeah, he's has an on-base percentage of 1,000. He had a 1-out single in the first, got on base with an E4 in the 3rd, and now an E6 in the 5th. There's ball 2. So unconventional way of having a on-base percentage of 1,000, but it's worked out for him thus far. And Green is 1 for 2 himself. The 2-0 pitch. Ball 3.
So Charlie, since in light of the holiday that's coming up, what is your favorite 4th of July tradition?
Oh, as a kid, it was having the red, white, and blue popsicles that were like...
The Rocket Pops?
I don't know if they were Rocket Pops, but there's as ball 4. Now, De La Torre will go to second. What I do know is it was the same company, the same brand that has like the different variety packs. Like they had cherry, grape, and orange together, and it was just exclusive for 4th of July. And I love the combination because it was cherry, blueberry, and I don't remember what the white flavor was.
Okay.
But nowadays it's just staring at the fireworks. Nothing too big.
There you go. It'll be nice. The first time you've been out here, and I'm going to be out here. So we get to kind of be part of this really nice tradition here for the city of Palm Springs since 2024 that they've done the 4th of July Spectacular here at Palm Springs Stadium, the biggest event of the year. And what I've heard is that there will be a massive line. So if you're somebody who can't get into the stadium, you can also set up outside as well in the grass when the fireworks start to come on. So there's plenty of chances for you to see the fireworks here at the stadium.
No one swings misses the first pitch, and yeah, that's absolutely right. There are gates, and it is kind of hard to see from the outside. But yeah, you don't necessarily have to pay to get in. You can watch from the line down way towards the wall on either side, or you can kind of, if you want, bring your own ladder, set it up across the way, and just kind of sit on top. No balls, 2 strikes.
But I think the big encouraging thing is that you get the best seats in the house if you decide to watch the game, enjoy a power game, America's favorite pastime, and then watch the fireworks at the end of the game with the perfect seats to see it from. And there's plenty of seating. There's seating down the first baseline and the third baseline.
1-2 pitch. You mentioned like what's your favorite tradition or memory from 4th of July. As a kid, for maybe 3 or 4 years in a row, they would have they would show the movie Grease at the Hollywood Bowl, and they would have 4th of July fireworks after, and the whole cast would come out, and that is how I memorized all the scenes and songs from that film.
Oh, really?
Yeah, And so it was a classic. This hit into right field. Miles Walton drifting over. And it's going to be caught by Mark Kirkland over the head. What a play.
Mark Kirkland showing off maybe some football experience. He routed that baseball and got the over-the-shoulder catch in foul territory. What a beautiful play from Mark Kirkland. That's a El Paseo Jewelers wedge if I've ever seen one.
Yes, it is, and our public address announcer, Steven, completely agrees. So halfway through tonight's game, Palm Springs Power lead the Colton Nighthawks 11-2. You're listening to Fox Sports Radio, Palm Springs, 1270 AM, and watching Palm Springs Power on YouTube. We'll be back.
Try our big, beautiful all-day menu with more than 70 delicious dishes and our award-winning 3-course brunch for only $27.99. At Palm Springs' most popular restaurant, there's always a party at Lulu.
Whether you're building, landscaping, renovating, refreshing, or simply researching,
Welcome back, bottom of the 5th, and we have a new pitcher on the mound. It's Zach Gibbs. So Dawson done after 2.1 innings. And Gibbs will face the bottom of the order, Blake Conrad, Grayson Gegg, and Dalton Thomas. There's strike one.
It's a bit of a familiar face if you're somebody who pays attention to the PSCL. If you just heard the name Zach Gibbs and you know exactly who that is up there on the mound and you're not going crazy.
No balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, Zach Gibbs has been one of the more premier guys for the Bootleggers.
And he's set to pitch tomorrow as well for the Bootleggers. And did he go around? They're saying he did, so Blake Conrad goes down on 3 strikes. 1 out in the bottom 5th.
Yeah, I don't think Conrad really agreed with that call right there, too.
So the final line for Hunter Dawson, 2.1 innings, 61 pitches, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned. Yeah, Zach Gibbs, the Colton Nighthawks, they're about maybe an hour away from here. So yeah, Zach Gibbs is a commuter to play every day. There's no balls, 1 strike for Gegg, and Zach Gibbs, 4 pitches in, he's on his way to an immaculate inning.
Well, I hope you didn't just jinx him there, Charlie.
Well, I guess I did, as he has a base hit into center field.
That's too good. That's way too good.
Yeah, so Gegg gets on base, and now we're at the bottom of the order with Dalton Thomas.
Look what you did to the man right there. That has happened so many times this season up here in the press box. You have no idea how many times I've jinxed a player.
1 for 3 is Dalton Thomas, a hit and 2 looking strikeouts. And lets that first pitch go by him, and it's in the corner of the zone on a curveball, strike 1.
Dalton Thomas has been fairly successful, 1 for 3 today with a single and an RBI, but he struck out looking twice on some very close pitches on the outer parts of the strike zone.
The 0-1 pitch, a little high. Ball 1. There you go. Just high-fiving the kids who just announced the lineup for this inning.
Young celebrities.
So now it's a 2-1 count for the second baseman, Dalton Thomas. 8 pitches in is Zach Gibbs. And John Tessier just hoping that his night is short so he's ready to go tomorrow. Fouls that off. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, if you don't understand what's happening in the PSEL right now, it's a fight between 3 teams right now. It's a fight between the A's, the Bootleggers, and the Jacks right up there. The Jacks, I believe, still hold on 1 spot right now, and the A's and the Bootleggers today are tied as of right now.
Yeah, the A's a few days ago had a statement win against the Lumberjacks, but that loss did not knock them out of the top spot in the standings. There's a 3-2 count now to Dalton Thomas.
Yeah, the Bootleggers actually took a pretty big loss today over at the turf field, and the A's actually got a good win here today at this stadium. You were here for the earlier broadcast with Zach and I on the call.
Oh, check swing. Did he go? They're saying he did not. And that's ball 4 for Dalton Thomas, so he'll get on base for the first time since the first inning.
I look pretty parallel to the plate right there, but with John Kibble there at the behind the pitcher right there, he doesn't exactly have the best angle of that swing right there, but good for Dalton Thomas to get on base for the second time today.
Austin Haller now coming to the plate for the 4th time today. Oh, 5th time, I'm sorry. Yeah, 5th, because he had 1 extra in the first inning. So, yeah, 5th time. And hits that right to the second baseman. It'll be a 4-6 putout, and then a 4-6-3 double play, and that is how the inning will end on that 1 pitch to Haller. So, through 5, Power leading the Nighthawks 11-2. You're listening to Fox Sports Radio, Palm Springs, 1270 AM, and watching Palm Springs Power on YouTube. We'll be right back for the top of the 6th.
It's a family setting, you know, we come and we get into conversation, and it's comfortable here is what I guess I'll say. It's comfortable.
The hot cocoa has whipped cream and sprinkles in the whipped cream in the hot cocoa.
Very family oriented. You know, they cater to the kids. They got the coloring books and crayons, and they have kid-sized stuff about almost for everything that you would want. So young and old, everybody can enjoy it.
It's the best.
Made from scratch memories. Elmer's.
Building your business is no small undertaking, and you need the right team by your side. Whether you're just getting started or expanding nationwide, Pacific Premier Bank is here to support your business every step of the way. As your trusted banking partner, we can help guide you down the right path with customized solutions designed for your business. We'll help you achieve the success you deserve. Pacific Premier Bank. Let's build your future together.
Try our big, beautiful all-day menu with more than 70 delicious dishes and our award-winning 3-course brunch for only $27.99. At Palm Springs' most popular restaurant, there's always a party at Lulu.
To the top of the 6th we go. Baltazar now pitching. Jaden McNeely's in line for the win with 5 innings pitched, and we'll get the final line on him in just a moment. But now pitching is Andrew Baltazar. Baltazar delivers the first pitch to John Petrie. That's chopped, oh, foul, waiting for the ball to come down back to earth to see where exactly it bounced.
And Petrie has been pretty successful with the bat so far, 0 for 1, or 1 for 2, excuse me, with the stolen base. And Baltazar comes in here, he actually carried after Jaden McNeely. He was the second guy behind Jaden McNeely in the last matchup.
Gets a piece of the bat on the ball, and it goes back to the backstop. So no balls, 2 strikes for Petrie.
He pitched against 7 different batters for 2 innings and didn't give up a single run, 4 strikeouts. And his ERA this season of 1.38, so very solid throughout much of this summer.
Baltazar delivers, and that's 1-2 count now as below the zone.
And this becomes very important for the Power, especially with the amount of games that they have left. We're more than halfway through the season already. There's only about 11, 10 games or so, and then we get to the playoffs. So the Power need to figure out exactly who's going to be their guys they're going to look to once they get to the playoffs.
There's ball 2. And yeah, we're going to have some new arrivals coming soon, and Garrett Bavacco is just a start. We're going to see some new names this week and kind of bolster that roster for the Power. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Petrie goes down swinging for out number 1. And the final line for Jaden McNeely, 5 innings pitched, 87 pitches, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, 4 hits, 2 runs, 0 earned runs. And those 2 runs coming home on fielding errors. So pretty solid night for McNeely. And now here's Seth Correa. Ball 1. Do you remember the scene from Grease where Danny is trying to impress Sandy, so he tries all different sports and he's out on the baseball field?
I think so.
Okay.
Well, what are we saying here?
I don't know. I'm just curious. It just popped into my mind because also that team, the Rydell High School team, their main color was red, and I was reminded of that because the Palm Springs Power were wearing red.
Interesting tie in there, honestly.
Yeah. 2 balls, 1 strike.
You know, honestly, I think I have to re-watch that movie at some point. There's some details that are lost in there.
Hey, Kaniki, you want a piece of salami? Are you kidding? If I eat that, it'll smell like you. Oh, this pop foul and coming towards us in the press box, but falling short. Heads up.
Hey,
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Power at late nights, right?
Yeah.
You get to tune into Charlie Gonzalez, rerun the whole movie for you.
Oh, I can like recite scenes dialogue, but some of those terms are not safe for air, so I'm not gonna, I'm not going to do that. But yes, a 2-2 count for Correa, same count that Petrie struck out on just before him, and there's ball 3. We have a full count.
And the Power are going to start looking to these pitchers, right, like we talked about. So Baltazar is definitely going to be one of those mid-relief pitchers in the order for the Power when they get closer to the playoffs. So right here, they're just give him some extra play time, see what he can do against some fairly good hitters.
And there's ball 4. It was low and inside, nearly hit him. So a 1-out walk puts Seth Correa on base for the first time today.
McNeely so far is in line for the win because he threw for 5 innings pitched.
Yeah, and that is a rule just like in Major League Baseball. Starting pitcher must be in for 5, and his team must have the lead when he comes out to be in line for the win. So here's Kanoa Luna, who also hasn't gotten on base yet today. He's 0 for 1. Oh, grounds that to Casey Kleinman at short and quickly zips it over to Dalton Thomas at second, and then to Mark Kirkland at first for the double play.
Yeah, that is not an easy play right there. Casey Kleinman had the flip, scoop up, quick transfer over to Dalton. Dalton brings it over, throws it to Mark Kirkland. Very good double play right there.
So we're through 5.5. We're going to the bottom of the 6th. The Power leading the Nighthawks 11-2 still. You're listening to Fox Sports 1270 AM radio and watching on Palm Springs Power YouTube. We'll be back.
Outdoor living in the Coachella Valley is spectacular, and Tessera is the premier builder of outdoor living spaces in the desert. Nobody does it better than Tessera. From one end of this valley to the other, from Palm Springs to Rancho Mirage, Palm Desert, to Indio and La Quinta. For 35 years, we've created the ultimate in outdoor living, landscaping, pools, and patios, so you and your family can enjoy each other. Live well. Live Tessera.
Hello, Power Baseball fans. At SBMP Attorneys, we believe in the power of community. And that's why we proudly support the Palm Springs Power, our hometown baseball team. After a memorable championship season in 2024, capping off the team's 20th anniversary, we're all very excited about the 2025 Power team. SBMP Attorneys and the Palm Springs Power are two teams that are committed to excellence, community, and the spirit of winning. We'll see you all at the ballpark.
Monster Shakes, the best ice cream creations in the desert and only place in the world that serves all 10 flavors of Dole Soft Serve. The winner of the best soft serve and smoothies home.
Welcome back. Bottom of the 6th inning. The pinch hitter, a new player, Garrett Bivacqua, now at the plate. He's leading off for the Power. He's facing Zach Gibbs on the mound for a second inning of work, and Bivacqua takes ball 1.
Zach Gibbs supposed to play with the bootleggers tomorrow, so I don't know exactly what this will do for him if he continues to stay out in this game here.
1 ball, 1 strike. Yeah, it'd probably be a combined decision between his coach, John, and himself. I can hold it in. Okay. Okay, there's 1 ball, 2 strikes. For those listening, there was a funny joke in the break, and I held it in for as long as I could.
Oh, God. It's the Lulu hours now.
And there's a wild pitch for ball 2. So 2-2 count for Bivacqua. See, now you're laughing too.
I swear I'm doing my best to not.
Swings and misses. And there's 1 out in the bottom 6th as Bivacqua goes down on strikes.
So the hope is for the Power to kind of replicate this going for the rest of the season. Tomorrow they'll take on the San Diego United, another non-conference game right there. And then they play the Colton Nighthawks again this Saturday on July 5th. The rest of the time, it literally is just CPCL opponents. SoCal Mavericks, Inland Valley Legends, and then Inland Valley Pirates coming through.
That was a comebacker up the middle off the mound, getting past Gibbs and Luna into center field for a 1-out single.
So Miles Walton is just been a hitting machine. That's the 3rd single, the 4th hit. He's got a double already, and he's reached on base 5 times today.
Definitely, like nearly 100% completed his case for player of the game. But we still have 3 innings left to go, and here's Mark Kirkland. Ball 1 for the first baseman. And Mark Kirkland tonight walked twice, has sacrificed ground out to bring home Miles Walton, and then flew out to left field. There's ball 2. So with all those, he's just 0 for 1 as sacrifices and walks do not count towards your batting average.
Also, the Power will play Havasu Heat and San Diego Stars towards the latter part of the season, July 16th. Or 15 through 18, and then the CPCL playoffs will start right there, and they're actually going to be here at Palm Springs Stadium.
2-1 count for Kirkland, and that game on Saturday you were talking about. There's we're going to be on the call for that, and that's also that day PSCL playoffs will be going on. So it's going to be a busy day here at Palm Springs Stadium. The check over to first, but Miles Walton's safe. Oh, another check over. A good no look. He's really fast on that arm, but Walton doesn't have a large enough lead off of first to get tagged out.
He's only had 1 steal today so far, but it's only because he really hasn't had a chance to do so yet. Kirkland fouled it off on a check swing right there.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
This game already reaching the 2-hour mark. We haven't got to the 7th inning yet.
The first 3 innings are pretty much responsible for that, as there were 27 total plate appearances for the Power. And now we have a full count for the first baseman.
Yeah, and the last 2 games over the weekend, both were really short. The first game was 2 hours and 35 minutes. The game against the Inland Valley Pirates in the second game was 2 hours and 47 minutes.
And Mark Kirkland goes down on strikes. Look, you can see he's disappointed in his body language, the way he kind of slowed his swing after coming around. So we're in the bottom of the 6th. Power lead the Nighthawks 11-2. There's 2 outs, a runner on. And Casey Kleiman coming to the plate now. He's in the middle of the order.
Which is kind of crazy. I think the game before that as well against the San Diego Bombers was almost 3 hours and 30 minutes.
That one off the mound, and it was really close to the base runner going to second, but it just gets past him. Luna elects instead to throw it to Green to tag out Casey Kleinman for out number 3. So a quick bottom 6 inning, just what the Nighthawks need on defense. They still trail by 9. They're running out of time to respond. So we'll be back for the top of the 7th. You're listening to Fox Sports 1270 AM Palm Springs Radio and watching Palm Springs Power on YouTube.
Everyone knows good things come in threes, like our eat, drink, and play combo for just $19.99. Maybe the saying should be good things come in 19.99s. Maybe not. The Dave & Buster's Eat, Drink, and Play combo for just $19.99.
Try our big, beautiful all-day menu with more than 70 delicious dishes and our award-winning 3-course brunch for only $27.99. At Palm Springs' most popular restaurant, there's always a party at Lulu.
Jessup Auto Plaza has been proudly serving the Coachella Valley since 1938 as your trusted family-owned auto destination. Now, electrify your drive with the Valley's most extensive range of electric vehicles. Drive the Chevrolet Blazer, Equinox, Silverado, the powerful GMC Hummer, Sierra, and the distinctive Cadillac Lyriq. Silent power, bold performance. Electrify your drive. Jessup Auto Plaza. Since 1938, the EV brands you love, the family you trust.
Top of the 7th we go. Andrew Baltazar on the mound for a second inning of work, and a pinch hitter is leading things off for the Nighthawks. It's number 30, Jake Nattori, pinch hitting for Damian Casas, the right fielder, and we'll see if it's a straight switch when we go to the bottom of the 7th. He fouls that off for strike 1.
Might be getting closer to that time too where the Power starts switching players defensively. There's a new third baseman too for the Power actually.
Ball 1. It's tough to see who it is. It could be Mike Gonzalez. We'll see when he turns around. There's a swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes for Jake Nattori.
Mike Gonzalez is available in the game, so that probably is him, if I'm judging that correctly.
The 1-2 pitch to Nattori. Below the zone. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Baltazar taking his time in between pitches, more so than McNeely was during his first 5 innings. And there's ball 3. It's high and away. And we have a leadoff full count for the pinch hitter.
Oh, Nelson's behind the plate too, by the way.
Yeah, Tyler Nelson, yeah, a catching change. So, yeah, with this big of a cushion, you would want to put some other guys in just to see how they fare. And there's ball 4. So a leadoff walk for Jake Nattori. Here's the first pitch. Ball 1 to River Martinez.
And yeah, you start getting the substitutes out here. You get Tyler Nelson into the game here, and then you start putting other players in. I'm pretty sure that's Michael Gonzalez at third base right there. But see if you can get your power players in there. And just by the way, what a good showing here from the Power. Just a bounce back from 2 losses. Showing off the bats, they've been able to get 13 hits in this game so far. They've left 12 on base, but that's only to just a premium there. And they scored 11 runs, so they've really capitalized on a lot of these opportunities so far.
Yeah, and the runners left on base was what really killed them in Game 2 against the Inland Valley Pirates. And, you mentioned it. They're doing it again here, but with the 9-run cushion, it really does not matter.
Yeah, the big difference there was the Power left 12, and they were only able to score 4 runs out of those 12 runners that were on base.
So a 3-0 count for River Martinez, and Baltazar dangerously close to walking back-to-back batters to start out this top 7th inning. 3-0. There's strike 1. It finds the zone, and River Martinez knew it too. He did not make any indication to throw his bat down and go to first.
Okay, yep, it is indeed Michael Gonzalez at third base.
Oh, and that's a slow chopper up the middle, and getting to second in safely is Jake Nattori, but the quick 4-3 put out. That will retire River Martinez. And we do also have a new second baseman. It's Isaac Rodriguez. Baltazar taking his time. Does not want to get a balk here. He was close to it a few pitches ago. There's strike 1 to Caden Carrion. The 0-1 pitch. Check swing. He went around. No balls, 2 strikes. This is a situation when there's no force out available, only a runner on second. He can elect to stay if he doesn't like where the ball is hit. Yeah, Mike Gonzalez now playing third. Isaac Rodriguez now playing second. So a few fielding changes for the Power, and they'll probably end up being straight switches as well once we get to their spot in the batting order. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and that's fouled off into the parking lot. Someone's going to get that as a souvenir. Baltazar waiting for the signal from Tyler Nelson, who's now catching. So changes at 2, 4, and 5. Oh, and strike 3. And Caden Carrion goes down looking for out number 2. Robert De La Torre now at the plate. He has an on-base percentage of 1,000 because of a hit and getting on base with 2 errors. And he's going to look to drive in Jake Nattori. Baltazar delivers. Ball 1.
Oh, that just barely missed by a little bit too on the upstairs edge of the strike zone.
That's grounded over to Mark Kirkland, who his glove nearly falls off, and he goes and scoops up the ball and tags first base for the unassisted out. So we're going to the bottom of the 7th now. It's stretch time here in Palm Springs. 11-2 lead for the Power. You're listening to Palm Springs Fox Sports Radio, 1270 AM, and watching Palm Springs Power on YouTube. We'll be back.
The Management Trust is a 100% employee-owned company. Every employee has a vested interest in providing memorable experiences to every homeowner and board members of HOAs. It's a very powerful thing. No homeowners association is too small or too large for us to manage. From community maintenance services to customized absentee home care, the Management Trust provides just about every service any homeowner could ask for.
Hi, I'm Damien with the Management Trust.
We're a community management built differently for your homeowners association. To find out how, give me a call.
Whether you're building, landscaping, renovating, refreshing, or simply researching, rent the right size tools for your size jobs. In store, online, or in app at Sunbelt Rentals, where tools rule.
Welcome back. It's the bottom of the 7th inning. Jamal Ritter takes strike one. Now we do have some defensive changes for the Colton Nighthawks as Zach Gibbs is on the mound for his 3rd inning of work. Robert DiLatorre moving over to right field, and taking left field is Jake Nattori.
And this might become Jamal Ritter's last at bat as a power right here, since we're in the bottom of the 7th, unless the power can come around again in the batting order.
Yeah, he probably knows that as well, because, you know, at this rate, we're not going to have a bottom 9th, and it's the bottom 7th, and he wants to make this last plate appearance special if it is the last one. There's ball 2.
I mean, with that type of speed in the major leagues, that can become a weapon if you can develop it right. And the way that Jamal Ritter runs with heads-up ability and even stealing home base, that is a added plus, even if it's for somebody who can't exactly give you consistent hitting all of the time. But when he's able to do the things that he can do, it shines a bright light on the talents that Jamal Ritter has, not just offensively, but also in the field of play, because he's very good at covering those putouts.
That's grounded over to the second baseman. A quick 4-3 putout for Jamal Ritter. So that could be his last at-bat as a member of the Palm Springs Power. If it is, he's had a great career here this summer.
Oh yeah, it definitely has been. Here comes the new catcher though, Tyler Nelson, who subbed in earlier. The last time he came up to bat in a pitch hit situation, he almost hit a ball over the left center wall. It almost went over that wall, but it came down and hit the Agua Caliente Casinos poster up there.
That one chopped foul over by the home bullpen. Tyler Nelson, usually the guy right after the starter who comes in to play catcher. He's worked himself into that 2 spot since joining the Palm Springs Power, and there's strike 2. So he's down in the count early, just like Ritter was ahead of him.
And Nelson is part of a catcher core that it has 3 different other starters ahead of him, but it's a solid core nonetheless.
There's strike 3, and Gibbs makes quick work of Nelson as he goes down looking on 3 strikes.
And Nelson immediately knew that he just got caught up looking right there, and the pitch basically curved inside. It wasn't a whole lot of break, but he curved it in enough to bring it down into the strike zone.
And Grayson Gegg now batting, and so far tonight, the Nighthawks pitchers haven't forced a 1-2-3 inning, and Gibbs is going to have a chance to do it now. And there's strike 1. We have Isaac Rodriguez on deck as is a straight switch with Dalton Thomas at second base and in the 9-hole. Ball 1.
And Grayson Gegg is starting to show off his ability to be a good, consistent hitter here. 2 walks today, an RBI, and 2 singles for Grayson Gegg so far. 2 for 2 today.
Check swing. It was in the zone. Doesn't matter. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yeah, 2 walks and 2 hits. On base percentage of 1,000, looking to keep it at 1,000.
Is that Johnny Young warming up in the bullpen? Oh my goodness, it is.
Fouls that off. And he's showing off that sidearm. Yep, it is him warming up in the bullpen. We'll see if he comes in the 8th or the 9th for the Power.
Johnny Young did come in for an inning against the San Diego Bombers. Pitched pretty well. Not a pretty high number of pitches in the pitch counter in that one little outing, but see if he can do some damage here and see if he can become part of the Power relief pitching staff.
Ball 2. Johnny Young, a pitcher for the Jacks and for the Palm Springs Power. Ball 3. So a full count for Grayson Gegg. One ball away from walking and keeping that on-base percentage of 1,000 at 1,000 tonight. The full count, pitch, and there's a 2-out walk. So he stays at a perfect 1,000 on-base percentage.
Brings up the batting average very well too. 3 walks right there for Grayson Gegg.
And here's Isaac Rodriguez. This new second baseman. And there's strike 1.
So Gegg already has 14 walks already this season and only just 42 or 29 at bats, excuse me.
And there's a wild pitch that advances Grayson Gegg to second. 1-1 count for Isaac Rodriguez. Yeah, and it's been it's really surprising to say, but it's been a scoreless last 3.5 innings considering the number of runs that were put up in the first 3. There's ball 2.
Yeah, we talked about where the Power have been able to get through. They've gotten a hit every single inning since the beginning of this ball game. The numbers have been going down a little bit, but that's only because the game is starting to get out of hand, right? But this is what we expect from the Power.
Hit up the middle. It's going to bounce into center field, and that's going to buy enough time for Grayson Gegg to come home on the RBI single. It's 12-2 Power in the bottom of the 7th inning. Now batting number 5, Mike Gonzalez. So he's the new third baseman, and straight switch with Austin Haller in the leadoff spot. Swings and misses, comes around on that. So no balls, 1 strike.
Mike Gonzalez also came in for a pinch hit appearance and put down a sac bunt against the Pirates.
And swings and misses at that one, so no balls, 2 strikes, and the Power are down to their final strike of this inning.
They also started the game against the Pirates in the first game back on earlier on that Friday evening. It didn't pan out as well as he liked.
And there's strike 3. That one was grazing the bottom of the zone, so Mike Gonzalez goes down on 3 strikes looking. So the Power tack on another run here in the bottom 7th. We're going to the top of the 8th. They lead 12-2. You're listening to Palm Springs Power on Fox Sports 1270 AM radio and watching on Palm Springs Power YouTube. We'll be back.
Try our big, beautiful all-day menu with more than 70 delicious dishes and our award-winning 3-course brunch for only $27.99. At Palm Springs' most popular restaurant, there's always a party at Lulu.
Casey's still short, right? Casey's still at shortstop. All right, welcome back. No other defensive changes for the Power to note. Casey Kleinman still at shortstop. Jamal Ritter still in center field. Grayson Gagg in right. Or excuse me, Miles Walton in right. And in left is still Bavakwa. Johnny Young pitching now for the Power. He deals strike one to Sean Green.
And the two-time PSCL player of the year, champ, for the PSCL. He's pitching with the Grizzly right now. Now he's getting some reps here with the Power. Another one of those guys that's just looking for a new place to play beyond the college stage.
A 1-1 count for Sean Green. The final line for Andrew Baltazar: 2 innings pitched, 29 pitches, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, no hits, and no runs.
Excuse me. So he's in the transfer portal, originally from Texas A&M Texarkana. So he's looking for a new place to go play at.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And Johnny Young, he was telling me he was looking, there was a summer ball team out there, a brand new team, startup team in the Mid-America League called the Texarkana Rhinos. He considered playing for them, but elected to play for the Power in the PSCL instead. This is popped up high and shallow center field. It's actually not going to get into center field. It's going to be in the infield, and making the catch is Isaac Rodriguez for out number 1.
I thought the way that Johnny Young just stood there on the mound and stared at the pop fly, I thought he was going to go get the ball himself. You see him smiling on the mound right now. But it was ultimately Rodriguez that made the catch.
And we have a pinch hitter right now. It's number 15, Micah Tagwam, brand new player for the Colton Nighthawks. This is, I believe, his first game with them. There's ball 1. And he hits that right up the middle to Isaac Rodriguez, scoops it up, throw it over to Kirkland at first for out number 2. So 6 pitches, 2 outs for Johnny Young in the top of the 8th inning.
He almost grabbed that ball, too, as it came close to the mound right there. Wanted to play his position, but then he knew Isaac Rodriguez was right behind him, so he didn't even try to go for it.
You know, we'll see if that it's a straight switch in the bottom of the 8th with catcher Ian Newen, as that's who Micah Tegwam pinch hit for. Here's John Petrie. Fouls that off into the park next door. 0-1.
First off-speed pitch at 72 miles per hour. Outside corner is where he was targeting, and he's able to get John Petrie to foul that pitch off.
Ooh, curveball finds the zone. Excellent pitch selection from Johnny Young. A strike 2, and they're down to their final strike of this 8th inning.
We have a lot of very good events coming up. I believe there will be pickleball night coming up. We've also got ladies and boys night out on 2 different days. So,
well, swing and a miss for John Petrie. He goes down swinging. So Johnny Young retiring the side in order on just 9 pitches, and we're going to the bottom of the 8th with 2, 3, 4 due up. Bevacqua, Walton, and Kirkland. We'll be back.
Whether you're building, landscaping, renovating, refreshing, or simply researching, rent the right size tools for your size jobs. In store, online, or in app at Sunbelt Rentals, where tools rule.
Outdoor living in the Coachella Valley is spectacular, and Tessera is the premier builder of outdoor living spaces in the desert. Nobody does it better than Tessera. From one end of this valley to the other, from Palm Springs to Rancho Mirage, Palm Desert, to Indio and La Quinta. For 35 years, we've created the ultimate in outdoor living, landscaping, pools, and patios, so you and your family can enjoy each other. Live well. Live Tessera.
Shopping for car insurance is confusing. Holy cow.
Great. Now we have a cow in our kitchen. Why did you say that?
Because I don't know what coverage to choose.
So just say the State Farm jingle. A State Farm agent can go over all your options with you and help choose coverage that meets your needs. Dude, cow, could you move?
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome back. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. Due up, the new guy, Garrett Bevacqua. After him, Miles Walton and Mark Kirkland. And now pitching for the Colton Nighthawks, it's number 23, Robert Hernandez. There's ball one. The final line for Zach Gibbs is as follows. I'll just tell you right after this pitch from Hernandez. And this is hit deep into left center field, and moving over and making the catch is Notori for out number one. So Zach Gibbs, final line, 3 innings pitched, 47 pitches, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, 3 hits, 1 earned run. And Keaton Nato pinch hitting for Miles Walton in the 3-hole. He has a chopper over to third. It gets down back to earth in time, and he gets him just at the very last second. So a 5-3 putout. What a throw from Petrie to Green.
Yeah, a very good throw indeed. Had to gun it down because Keaton Nato, the tornado, was running down that first base line, able to get the play in there at perfect timing and good speed.
And Mark Kirkland now at the plate. 2 up, 2 down on just 3 pitches here in the bottom 8th inning. Power lead 12-2. Curveball finds his zone, strike 1.
So Miles Walton ends his day with a perfect 4 for 4, 1 walk, an RBI, and a double today.
1 ball, 1 strike.
So I'm pretty sure he'll be in line for player of the game with those types of stats. And when you're talking about a guy who needs to step up for the power in this final stretch of the season, exactly the guy you're looking for.
2 balls, 1 strike. He goes with the curveball just like he did on the first pitch, but that one curved in a little too late on the outside. And Kirkland saw it too. The 2-1 pitch. 3-1. Robert Hernandez delivers. Swings and misses, and it's a full count for Kirkland. Swinging for the fences on that one, starting low and ending high. I wanted to get the bat underneath the low ball and have it carry. That probably would have gone over the right field wall had he made contact. And there's ball 4. It's a 2-out walk. And here's Casey Kleinman.
Yeah, Kirkland 0 for 3 today now with 3 walks on the list. Every single batter has pretty much seen at least 6 at-bats today. The most at-bats today have been from Austin Holler and Michael Gonzalez combined at that 1 spot.
Kleiman takes strike 1. And not to jinx anything, but we were mentioning how Jamal Ritter probably had his last at-bat as a member of the Power in the 7th. Well, he's on deck right now, so if Casey Kleiman's able to get on base, we'll see Jamal Ritter one more time, and it'll be a 6-4 fielder's choice, and unfortunately we will not. Kirkland is tagged out going to second. So in the bottom 8th, 4 batters faced, no runs, no hits, and no errors. We're going to the top of the 9th, Power lead 12-2. You're listening to Fox Sports Radio 1270 AM Palm Springs and watching Palm Springs Power on YouTube.
Across the Coachella Valley, you'll find our communities powered by short-term rentals. These rentals bring visitors and dollars to the region. Whether attending events, checking out the art scene, or dining at restaurants, when they spend money, we all score. The nearly $1 billion impact of short-term vacation rentals generates tax revenues that fund police, firefighters, education, and many other programs that improve our daily lives. To learn why short-term rentals are a grand slam for the home team, visit onecv.org.
Hello, Power Baseball fans. At SBMP Attorneys, we believe in the power of community. And that's why we proudly support the Palm Springs Power, our hometown baseball team. After a memorable championship season in 2024, capping off the team's 20th anniversary, we're all very excited about the 2025 Power team. SBMP Attorneys and the Palm Springs Power are two teams that are committed to excellence, community, and the spirit of winning. We'll see you all at the ballpark.
All right, top of the ninth. Power leading the Nighthawks 12-2, and they're knocking on the door of their 16th win of the season. And that would be win 694 all time in their franchise history. And Brian Garcia's on the mound to close for the Power. Oh, Isaac Rodriguez scooping it up. A great effort. That was a great effort to get into center field, because that's where the ball was when he fielded it, and the throw across his body is not in time. It forced Mark Kirkland off the bag, but it does not matter as Seth Correa gets on base with a leadoff single.
What a play right there. Even though the runner was saved by Rodriguez, you gotta give a pat to the back right there, Isaac Rodriguez. He had to turn around, hop up, one up in the air, somehow still made the throw right to Mark Kirkland, even though it wasn't in time.
Check swing. Strike one, and pinch hitting is number 4, Heath Carlson for Kainona Luna. Strike two.
So it's been a very good day from the Power today, like we talked about, and hopefully they can take this into the next few games coming into this weekend, because we have a lot of fans who are coming in here and they want to see a good game. That's exactly what we want to give the fans here at the ballpark. And July 4th too, it should be a good one with the PSCL versus the Power as well.
A swing and a miss, and Heath Carlson goes down on strikes. One out in the top of the ninth. Jake Nattori. Takes strike one. Now he came in to pinch hit and then in a straight switch in the 7th inning. He walked and was stranded at second base. Brian Garcia delivers. That's fouled off over by the home bullpen, so no balls, 2 strikes.
One of the few new appearances here from our man Brian Garcia this season. Just came aboard the train not too long ago. This is another guy that they're looking to see if they can hold down the pitching staff here.
There's ball one.
Brian Garcia from Los Angeles, California, Yorktown, by the way. He's from Claremont, MS, but other than that, junior 5'8" pitcher up there on the mound.
Ball two, yeah, he's from Los Angeles, Claremont Mudscripts, though, in the IE, and talked about this earlier in the season now, how it kind of, they have to play schools at a different division level because of some of their teams. Their conference is just lacking in other schools with those same teams. So, yeah, it's a very strange situation that the Mudscripts are in. It's swing and a miss. Jake Nattori goes down on strikes, but stealing second is Seth Correa.
They called it a foul ball.
Oh, they're calling it foul ball, so never mind. He stays alive at the plate.
They called it foul because it tipped out of the glove of Tyler Nelson. So he got Nattori got a piece of the ball, but it just popped out of Tyler Nelson's glove.
Brian Garcia delivers the 2-2. That's a slow chopper over to Mark Kirkland, and a mistaken judgment as him and Brian Garcia were both racing for the ball as it went towards first, and it looked like Mark Kirkland was going to try and scoop it up, and then Brian Garcia got in the way. So that's tough. I think it's going to be an infield single, just how difficult that is to field.
A bit of a tough play right there. Either way, with running through that is your first baseman, and past him was Brian Garcia, and they were trying to work up that that 3-1 put away, but nothing could just work right there in that moment.
Ball one. Yeah, the official scorekeeper, they ruled it in error, but we'll see exactly how it goes at the end of the game. Woo, skying this foul ball. 1-1.
Yeah, I have 3 errors on my score sheet. I don't have 4 errors on the night for the Power.
And there's ball 2, and stealing second successfully is Seth Correa, and also stealing is Jake Nattori. So 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out in the top of the 9th for the Nighthawks.
A little bit late for a game rally right here, and for the Colton Nighthawks, you're talking about a young team here that is playing up to experienced players like we talked about through the broadcast, and you're starting to see why. You get the experienced players of the Power versus the youth of, the talented guys like the Colton Nighthawks here tonight. But again, the summer ball is not about, those wins and losses in that sense. It's really just, a place to get these players, where they want to be, right? Give them exposure to college coaches or scouts in the MLB. Because all these players have hopes and dreams of where they want to go to next year.
Yeah, it's a 3-1 count for River Martinez. He's 0 for 3 on the day, looking to at least get 1 hit before the night is over. There's 1 out in the top of the 9th. 2 runners in scoring position for the Nighthawks. It's grounded in between Mike Gonzalez and Casey Kleinman, and that'll drive in a run, so it's 12-3 now. He's 1 for 4 on the night.
Another good piece of hitting right there regardless. And it does score another run here, but, obviously a little too long, too late.
Brian Garcia keeping an eye on River Martinez at first. Turn his head, fouls that back against the net. Caden Carry-On could be the last batter of the night. A ground ball up the middle could force a double play. The 0-1 pitch to Carry-On. Garcia taking his time, instead just tries to check it down. Martinez is safe at first.
I'm so ready to see these 4th of July fireworks rain above that right center wall over there.
And they're saying it's going to go for 30 minutes. So bring earplugs if you don't want your ears to ring afterwards. That's what I'm going to do.
Good idea.
The 0-1 pitch from Garcia. Oh, they're going to say that's ball 1, and the pass ball, as it went right to Tyler Nelson, gets behind him, and another run will score. It's 12-4.
That's an unearned run there because he was able to get on base with an error. Jake Nattori.
Yeah, so the official ruling is that is an error that would be E3.
So an unearned run here for Brian Garcia.
Yeah, one earned, one unearned.
You know, you never asked me what my favorite 4th of July tradition was, Charlie.
What is it?
A little disappointed.
Oh.
You know, the biggest thing about 4th of July is always the barbecue, and my family always loves to do, you know, barbecue ribs. My dad brings out a smoker unit that he can put inside the barbecue, so when you bring out the...
Ooh, hits into right field, and drifting way back is Keaton Nato. It makes the catch route number 2. But going to third safely is River Martinez. So the sac fly moves another runner 90 feet.
So when you put in the barbecue, the ribs get that nice smoky taste that you kind of want with the meat right there, and then you get, you know, our family tradition is to make a really amazing mac salad. So we put carrots, celery, and obviously the arm or elbow macaronis, and then you put mayo in there. I'm sorry if I'm making you hungry, audience.
No, you're making me hungry,
we're
man.
kind of hungry up
now
here,
you
too.
owe me all that food. I hope your dad is visiting you out here because you're staying with a host family. I hope he's coming to the host family's house to make all that food. You got to invite me over, man.
Maybe we'll have something. I mean, we know an intern that knows how to do some barbecue, so we could work with him.
Yes, our colleague Hansel Marshburn, very good at cooking. Yeah, every social gathering we have, 80% of the time he's on the grill, and so he's really good at cooking. So salute to you, Hansel Marshburn.
Yes, sir. I don't know. Maybe we'll do it this July 4th. It'd be a little different.
1-0 pitch. This is going foul away and almost hitting the light pole into the visitors' batting cages.
And so our family tradition is that we make mashed potatoes at the same time, and then we finish the barbecue with a good pumpkin pie for some reason.
Thanksgiving, huh?
Yeah.
Thanksgiving in July.
Yeah, I guess so. And then we'll go see the fireworks show in our community.
And that bounces foul off his leg first. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, the final strike of the game now that the Nighthawks are down to. And yeah, Robert De La Torre on the night so far, he's 1 for 2 as 2 of the plate appearances result in him getting on base because of an error. So 1 for 2. Runner at third. 2 outs. Power lead 12-4. Garcia delivers, and that's fouled back. He's staying alive.
Oh, what in the world?
Oh, yeah, when it bounced off the net, it kicked up a lot of dust bunnies. There was a lot of, oh, look at all that dust. And maybe there was some.
Those look like flies or mosquitoes,
yeah,
it looks like.
Flies or mosquitoes that did not like their home being disturbed by that foul ball right there. It's okay. We don't need any of them getting in that area. And this is going to be hit into right field, just out of the reach of Isaac Rodriguez. An RBI single for Robert De La Torre keeps this game going. It's now 12-5 Power.
Yeah, this is the thing that we talked. Yeah, this is the thing we talked about with the Power is, you got to finish these games off strong. And right now, a few little struggles right here, and the Nighthawks not wanting to say quits right now.
Sean Green, one of the new faces of the Colton Nighthawks, is facing the Power for the first time, takes ball 1. One ball, 1 strike, or excuse me, that's ball 2.
There's still a pretty good crowd sticking around here, even though the game has gone to literally almost the 3-hour mark.
Yeah, we're about maybe 2 hours and 45 minutes in. It's 9:44. The game started just before 7 o'clock. The 2-0 pitch. That's popped foul, soaring out of play. And the Colton Nighthawks said that the fight they're showing here, late, down by so many runs, this is not unlike the surge that the Power had against the Inland Valley Pirates on Saturday, although the game was never out of reach for them. We're seeing sort of a parallel, and this is going to be hit into left field, and Bavakwa is going to scoop it up. So There's another 2-out single that advances Robert De La Torre to second.
Yeah, we talked about the Colton Nighthawks not giving up right here. Another well-hit ball, and they're starting to show some little light contact hits. We saw this with the Pirates too, so this is where the Power pitching needs to figure out how to hold teams like this, even if it's a late game, even if you're up by a lot of runs right now. You don't want to give any benefit of the doubt to the other side.
And here's Micah Teguam, his second plate appearance as a member of the Colton Nighthawks. It takes ball one. And his coach, he did not know how to pronounce his last name when he showed me the lineup card. But I did a quick Google translate search, and I had a few results, but the main one was Teguam, so I'm going to go with that. And I did not get a chance to ask him in person. He was not down there at the time.
I see.
So there's ball two for Brian Garcia, kind of losing command of the zone. He's starting out ahead, behind in the count against these batters. The 2-0 pitch, Garcia is looking for that third out. There's ball three, narrowly missing the zone. And we're one ball away from loaded bases here. This is the 8th plate appearance for the Nighthawks in the top of the 9th inning. 3-0 pitch. Ball four. Oh, that's strike one. I'm sorry. You know, he took a minute to make that decision.
He caught him up on the lower part of the strike zone right there, so you got to walk back.
Brian Garcia up to 32 pitches in this inning. There's strike two, and they're down to their final strike once again. That was the situation Robert De La Torre was in 2 batters ago. Now Garcia just looking for that final strike. The payoff pitch incoming. Could be the last pitch of the game. Garcia delivers. And he hits that up the middle. Isaac Quintero's going to scoop it up. Throws it to first quickly for a 4-3 put out, and that's the ball game. Final score, Palm Springs Power 12, Colton Nighthawks 5. The winning pitcher, Jaden McNeely. The losing pitcher, Cody Smith. What are your final thoughts, Justin?
Yeah, we started out the game, we talked about it, right? The Power need to jump out in front of these teams, start attacking them very early. We didn't see that against the Pirates. That's where they struggled in those 2 games against that team, and they come out in full colors and show it off right here. And the other thing, finishing off games is another big thing, and you get that help with your defense right there. This is a pretty good game for the Power, even though it was out of hand again against the Colton Nighthawks, but this is a good display from the Power because, you know, they start games late, getting that offense going. We needed to see them tonight really get these hits in there and getting those runs in on those opportunities.
That's exactly right. So finishing with 8 hits are the Colton Nighthawks. And then finishing with 14 hits are the Palm Springs Power. So not bad. The one downside, though, is they did have more errors than the Colton Nighthawks. There were 4, including 1 in that last inning, that resulted in one of the runs coming around. But solid win as they improve to now 16-5 on the year. Their 694th win, and they're creeping closer to win number 700. That's a milestone we expect to see this season.
Yeah, we're getting close to that, and hopefully the Power can do what they can to put on a show every single night, give the fans what they want. That's a dub, even if it's a close game. We love to see those kinds of close games, but maybe not the way that you want it.
Well, we're all done now from here. From myself, Charlie Gonzalez, from Justin Lee. So long from the Agua Caliente Casinos booth.